Straight to it. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, and I'm back with another one. All right, guys, we're about to get to Trump's gaggle with the president. Then we're going to get to Pete Hegseth's, I would say, amazing speech to the generals, really to the entire military. Pretty much telling, well, guess what? We're about to get back in line with how we were supposed to be, and not a bunch of fat asses marching out of sync. So shout out to Pete Hegseth for calling that one out. But all right, guys, let's get straight into it. Make sure you guys double tap that screen and like the video. And to start off, shout out to my man Hellbat. Turn that down a bit, but appreciate you for starting us off. And he says, first one, I win. Shout out. And shout out to my man Big Wave Dave. Don't even know what you're doing up, but what's going on, my man? He said, what's up, bitch? Oh, I'm weak. This man already.
Well, we may do a lot, and that's only because of the Democrats. And as you know, they want to be able to take care of people that have come into our country illegally, and no system can handle that. And so we're totally opposed on that. But we can't take it. We just can't do it. I'd love to do everybody. I'd love to do the whole world. But our country can't handle people that come into our country illegally. And they want to give them full health care benefits. Right. They want to open the wall again. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it. They want to open the wall. They haven't taken away boys playing in women's sports. They haven't done that. Men playing in women's sports.
Yeah, there are still some governors out there that are holding on strong to having, trans women in female sports. Like, they're holding on strong to it, even though there was an executive order signed, which, we all know that executive order don't mean it's automatic law. But it is a bit crazy that we got governors pretty much going against the president on something as simple as this. Like, you would think they would kind of like draw it back a little bit, since one of Trump's most, I would say, hard-hitting ads kind of addressed the trans problem.
It's like they
shout out to my man Big Wave Dave. He said, love you, brother. Hey, love you too, my man. And shout out to my supporters, man, and the members.
They don't change. They lost the election in a landslide, and they don't change.
How long do you plan to get Hamas to respond to the ceasefire proposal?
Well, we're going to do about 3 or 4 days. We'll see how it is. All of the Arab countries are signed up. The Muslim countries are all signed up. Israel's all signed up. We're just waiting for Hamas. And Hamas is either going to be doing it or not. And if it's not, it's going to be a very sad end.
And is there room to negotiate, Mr. President? Is there room to negotiate, or is this a take it or leave it deal? Is there room to negotiate with Hamas?
There's not much. You know, with Hamas, we want very simple. We want the hostages back immediately. And we want some good behavior. And, it's pretty simple. You don't get simpler. Think of it. We've signed every country in the Middle East. This was like an impossible thing. It's never been done before. This is more than Gaza. Gaza was big stuff. But Gaza is a piece of it.
And if they reject the deal, you said that...
I'm going to be quite honest. I'm amazed Trump even came up with a Gaza plan. I thought he was just going to let BB steamroll these guys out of existence. Thank God he's not, because the bad image would have been on us and Israel, but also us. So I am actually happy. And the thing is, it's actually a pretty good deal. The only thing that I could see Hamas not having, I would see I could see them turning down over the whole Israel having a security border around it. So it's all right, we're going to back out, but we're going to have this security fence around Gaza. But you get to have your own police, and you get to work your way towards self-governance. So, it's a pretty good deal.
Have your backing to do whatever they need to do. What do you envision?
I will let them go and do what they have to do. They can do it.
Hey, and shout out to my man Jet. It's going to be a fun stream. We are already at it in Discord. I love to see it. And shout out to my man Big Wave Dave. Says, okay, I'm pissed off. Open it up. I got you.
Pretty easily.
Shout out to the baller alert from Big Wave Dave. This should be an interesting one, guys.
Let them go and do what they have to do. We've killed about 25,000 Hamas. So certainly they paid a big price for October 7th. And this is a whole new group. They come in and they come in and they keep coming. But this is a whole different group. And their leadership has been killed 3 different times. So they paid a big price. We hope that they're going to have a nice, calm life. Maybe it won't happen. But if it does, it'll be one of the greatest things ever to happen. We'll have actual peace in the Middle East.
Are you preparing to take?
If they accept it. If not, then like I said, it sounds like Israel's going to steamroll them, and America is just going to be like, all right, cool, go do what you want to do.
Strike against drug gangs in Venezuela, sir.
And we'll see what happens with Venezuela. Venezuela has been very dangerous with drugs and with other things, and they've been very, very dangerous. So we'll see what happens with Venezuela. We had a lot of drugs coming in through water. We call it water drugs, just a simple term. We don't have any boats on the water. There are no boats. There are no fishing boats. There are no anything.
Yeah.
So we hit a number of boats. You probably saw that. And since we did that, we have absolutely no drugs coming into our country via water because it was lethal. And now we'll look at cartels. We're going to look very seriously at cartels coming by land.
What do you plan to tell the Department of War in this address? Why gather?
People may have disagreed with Trump pretty much blowing up that drug boat in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, but you know, it sent a pretty strong message to everybody in Latin America, especially the cartels. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, you guys can drive through here and we won't even arrest you. We won't arrest you. No, we'll just blow you up. I mean, yeah, we'll just blow you out of existence. That's it.
All the generals in one place for a speech.
Sent a strong message.
The Esprit de Corps. You know what Esprit de Corps is? It's only a spirit. We're going to be talking to him. Pete Hegseth is talking right now. I'm going to have to leave because I have to talk to him. But these are our generals, our admirals, our leaders. And it's a good thing. A thing like this has never been done before because they came from all over the world. And there's a little bit of expense, not much, but there's a little expense to that. We don't like to waste it. We'd rather spend it on bullets and rockets, frankly. But this was the one time we had to do a great spiritizing. It's going to be great. I've seen it already. We have every general, every admiral. We have great people. We have our real warriors over there. And when they're not good, when we don't think they're our warriors, you know what happens? We say, you're fired. Get out. We had some real bad ones last time. You know, I rebuilt the military, the entire military. But I had a couple, and I had unbelievable people. To do that, you have to. But I had unbelievable people in there. But I also had some bad ones at the top, like Lily and Mattis and Jesper. I told him too, always too late, Jesper. He was horrible. So, but I learned because, you know, I was just in there and I put these people in. They were recommended by rhinos and others. And then what we have now is the best. But even despite that, I rebuilt the military in my first term. We had a great first term. We had the greatest economy ever, and it's being beaten by a lot this time. So I'm going over. I'm going to be meeting.
Yeah, I will admit, like economically, of course, Trump had a pretty good term. But as far as his like foreign affairs, yeah, since he did have all the neocons around him, I mean, they sabotaged him in every way, shape, and form when it came to that. And because Trump wasn't such a war hawk, a lot of people in his first administration didn't like him because of that. So, I mean, shout out Trump for standing strong under that type of pressure, because a lot of other presidents kind of folded. Bush. All right.
Meeting with generals and with admirals and with leaders. And if I don't like somebody, I'm going to fire him right on the spot.
But all right, guys, let's get into Pete Hegseth. Most likely going to be the famous grilling of the military, because he went in. He definitely went in. And shout out Hegseth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He called them fat guys.
Please take your seats. Well, Mr. Chairman, the Joint Chiefs, generals, admirals, commanders, officers, senior enlisted, NCOs, enlisted, and every member of our American military, good morning. Good morning and welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over. You see, the motto of my first platoon was, those who long for peace must prepare for war. This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: war fighting, preparing for war and preparing to win.
And shout out to my man Jay. He says, here's a 2 for any lefty who want to debate Dave. And shout out to my man Jet. And guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Now let's get to the grilling.
Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war. No one here wants war. But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient to something or someone. It's a truth as old as time. And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust upon us. Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos.
I'm done. He really did not just tell the world, look, everybody, you can F around and find out about American strength if you want to. And shout out to my man Hellbat. But oh yeah, and if you do, you'll regret it. But shout out to my man Hellbat. He says Dave and Jet well, Coco, they are arguing with a ghost called ignored messages. Anyway, why the fuck am I getting ads? I mean, you gotta get that YouTube premium, man. It's the only way. Or I think I could shut them off, maybe.
And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term, and we will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room and the incredible.
I'll say this: nobody can beat us, but there is a lot of countries that can give us a good fight.
Troops that you all lead. But the world, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency. Mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow. There is no time for games. We must be prepared. If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now. We are the strength part of peace through strength. And either we're ready to win or we are not. You see, this urgent moment, of course, requires more troops, more munitions, more drones, more Patriots, more submarines, more B-21 bombers. It requires more innovation, more AI in everything and ahead of the curve, more cyber effects, more counter UAS, more space, more speed. America is the strongest, but we need to get stronger and quickly. The time is now, and the cause is urgent. The moment requires restoring and refocusing our defense industrial base, our shipbuilding industry, and onshoring all critical components. It requires, as President Trump has done, getting our allies and partners to step up and share the burden. America cannot do everything. The free world requires allies with real hard power, real military leadership, and real military capabilities. The War Department is tackling and prioritizing all of these things. And I'll be giving a speech next month that'll showcase the speed, innovation, and generational acquisition reforms we are undertaking urgently. Likewise, the nature of the threats we face in our hemisphere and in deterring China is another speech for another day, coming soon. This speech today, as I drink my coffee, this speech today is about people, and it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy. Personnel is policy. The best way to take care of troops is to give them good leaders committed to the warfighting culture of the department. Not perfect leaders, good leaders. Competent, qualified, professional, agile, aggressive, innovative, risk-taking, apolitical, faithful to their oath and to the Constitution. Eugene Sledge, in his World War II memoir, wrote, quote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a terrible waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors are my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other. In combat, there are thousands of variables, as I learned in Iraq and Afghanistan, and as so many of you did in so many more places. Leaders can only control about 3 of them. You control how well you're trained, mostly how well you're equipped, and the last variable is how well you lead. After that, you're on your own. Our warfighters are entitled to be led by the best and most capable leaders. That is who we need you all to be. Even then, in combat, even if you do everything right, you may still lose people because the enemy always gets a vote. We have a sacred duty to ensure that our warriors are led by the most capable and qualified combat leaders. This is one thing you and I can control, and we owe it to the force to deliver it. For too long, we have simply not done that. The military has been forced by foolish and reckless politicians to focus on the wrong things. In many ways, this speech is about fixing decades of decay. Some of it obvious, some of it hidden. Or as the chairman has put it, we are clearing out the debris, removing the distractions, clearing the way for leaders to be leaders. You might say we're ending the war on warriors. I heard someone wrote a book about that. For too long, we've promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons, based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called firsts. We've pretended that combat arms and non-combat arms are the same thing. We've weeded out so-called toxic leaders under the guise of double-blind psychology assessments, promoting risk-averse, go-along-to-get-along conformists instead. You name it, the department did it. Foolish and reckless political leaders set the wrong compass heading, and we lost our way. We became the woke department, but not anymore. Right now, I'm looking out at a sea of Americans who made a choice when they were young men and young women to do something most Americans will not, to serve something greater than yourselves, to fight for God and country, for freedom and the Constitution. You made a choice to serve when others did not, and I commend you. You are truly the best of America. But this does not mean, and this goes for all of us, that our path to this auditorium on this day was a straight line, or that the conditions of the formations we lead are where we want them to be. You love your country, and we love this uniform, which is why we must do better. We just have to be honest. We have to say with our mouths what we see with our eyes, to just tell it like it is in plain English, to point out the obvious things right in front of us. That's what leaders must do. We cannot go another day without directly addressing the plank in our own eye, without addressing the problems in our own commands and in our own formations. This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit.
Oh.
I've made it my mission to uproot the obvious distractions that made us less capable and less lethal. That said, the War Department requires the next step. Underneath the woke garbage is a deeper problem, and a more important problem that we are fixing and fixing fast. Common sense is back at the White House, so making the necessary changes is actually pretty straightforward. President Trump expects it. And the litmus test for these changes is pretty simple. Would I want my eldest son, who is 15 years old, eventually joining the types of formations that we are currently wielding? If in any way the answer to that is no, or even yes, but.
I mean, look, I'm going to say it like this. Hegseth, he's pretty freaking upset that China's military display was better than ours. And the thing is, I didn't watch China's military display until today. Like, I had to really see what he was talking about when I first was watching. Well, I was looking at the highlights of it, and I was like, hold on, what do you mean? So when I went to go look at their display, I was like, hold on, there's no fat guys in there. Everybody's in sync, walking in cadence. And, well, of course, they had the little military dogs and all that, which was kind of cool. So, yeah, compared to our military display, China's military display was pretty damn stunning. Now, we can still whoop their ass, but as in terms of how our military looked on the global stage, it was terrible. Compared to China, of all people, of all places.
Then we're doing something wrong. Because my son is no more important than any other American citizen who dons the cloth of our nation. He is no more important than your son. All precious souls made in the image and likeness of God. Every parent deserves to know that their son or their daughter that joins our ranks is entering exactly the kind of unit that the Secretary of War would want his son to join. Think of it as the golden rule test. Jesus said, do unto others that's what you would have done unto yourself. It's the ultimate simplifying test of truth. The new War Department golden rule is this: do unto your unit as you would have done unto your own child's unit. Would you want him serving with fat or unfit or undertrained troops, or alongside people who can't meet basic standards?
Nope.
Or in a unit where standards were lowered so certain types of troops could make it in? In a unit where leaders were promoted for reasons other than merit, performance, and warfighting? The answer is not just no.
I mean, people usually go to the military to change their life, to gain some discipline, not to be more mediocre.
It's hell no. This means at the War Department, first and foremost, we must restore a ruthless, dispassionate, and common sense application of standards. I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first, but not the best. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. If not, they're not standards. They're just suggestions. Suggestions that get our sons and daughters killed. When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now. At every level. Either you can meet the standard, either you can do the job, either you are disciplined, fit, and trained, or you are out. And that's why today, at my direction, and this is the first of 10 Department of War directives that are arriving at your commands as we speak and in your inbox. Today, at my direction, each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. Because this job is life or death. Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level, we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense and core to who we are and what we do. It should be in our DNA. Today, at my direction, we are also adding a combat field test for combat arms units that must be executable in any environment at any time and with combat equipment.
I mean, duh.
These tests, they'll look familiar. They'll resemble the Army Expert Physical Fitness Assessment or the Marine Corps Combat Fitness Test. I'm also directing that warfighters in combat jobs execute their service fitness test at a gender-neutral, age-normed male standard scored above 70%.
Ah, shit.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance.
Yo.
If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations or really any formation and see fat troops.
Yep.
Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Yeah, it is embarrassing, especially like all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna be real with you. If you're not, especially if you're, I would say, a millennial and back, yeah. When we used to look at the military, we're talking about clean-cut guys, no beard, straight muscle, upright, always walking in sync. It's like nobody in there was fat. Now look what we got. I'm being honest with you. This is a complete surprise for guys like me and guys who are older than me, of course. I mean, they're more shell-shocked than I am.
It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service.
Twice a year is great.
Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force.
You get no rest. You better stay fit year round because you get tested twice a year. Hey, I'm all for it.
Force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. Most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, guard, and reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards, long hair, superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty in the field and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. I mean, we don't have a military full of Nordic pagans.
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, look, just go ahead and shave. You gotta be clean cut. We're going back to the original standard. You gotta have a clean cut face. You're gonna go ahead and get in shape. I mean, what's wrong with that? But shout out to my man Jay. He says no more fat people in our law enforcement or military. If you can't pass the highest PT test, it's time for a new job. And I agree.
Yeah. That's agreed. Yo, set.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, Pete's not wrong. Like, look, if you want to be Special Forces and you can complete that rigorous training, have the beard that you fucking want. But if you're not, and you can't go that route, shave your fucking face, cut your fucking hair.
It is what it is.
It's not that hard.
And last time I checked, it's the military. So what? Y'all capitulate to these guys' demands about wanting beards? Like, come on,
Bro, you can't be a fucking firefighter with a beard.
I mean, shit, ain't that the truth? So yeah, I don't even understand it. I don't get it either. I mean, there are regular jobs that you can't even like have a beard too long at. Like, you got to be close to the face shave. So I don't understand what the big deal is. But I think he's about to get into the whole women's aspect of it. So let's get into this.
But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed to enforce standards. Both are unacceptable. And that's why today at my direction, the era of professional appearance is over. No more beardos. The era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet the male level physical standards for combat positions, cannot pass a PT test, or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position or a new profession.
Get a new job.
I sincerely appreciate the proactive efforts the secretaries have already taken in some of those areas, service secretaries. And these directives are intended to simply accelerate those efforts. On the topic of standards, allow me a few words to talk about toxic leaders. Upholding and demanding high standards is not toxic. Enforcing high standards, not toxic leadership.
Honestly, what is this, dating? Like, your standards are too high, you're insecure and toxic. Like, bro, we're not arguing with your boyfriend or girlfriend here. This is the military. Like, well, that is crazy. How saying, yeah, but when you raise standards and you expect more of people is toxic. Like, bro, what are we talking about? Relationships or something?
You know, it's sad that Pete had to say those statements, but unfortunately, that's the state our society is in these days. It is fucking sad.
Man, facts.
Leading warfighters toward the goals of high, gender-neutral, and uncompromising standards in order to forge a cohesive, formidable, and lethal Department of War is not toxic. It is our duty, consistent with our constitutional oath.
It's fucking war.
Real toxic leadership is endangering subordinates with low standards. Real toxic leadership is promoting people based on immutable characteristics or quotas instead of based on merit. Real toxic leadership is promoting destructive ideologies that are an anathema to the Constitution and the laws of nature and nature's God, as Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence. The definition of toxic has been turned upside down, and we're correcting that. That's why today at my direction, we're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution.
I just had a question. This is the Quantico freaking meeting with all generals, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Of course, you
do
like bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized and bastardized inside our formations, undercutting commanders and NCOs. No more. Setting, achieving, and maintaining high standards is what you all do. And if that makes me toxic, then so be it. Second, today at our direction, we're ensuring that every service, every unit, every schoolhouse, and every form of professional military education conduct an immediate review of their standards. Now, we've done this in many places already, but today it goes across the entire Department of War. Any place where tried and true physical standards were altered, especially since 2015 when combat arms standards were changed to ensure females could qualify, must be returned to their original standard. Other standards have been manipulated to hit racial quotas as well, which is just as unacceptable. This too must end. Merit only. The president talks about it all the time, merit-based. Here are two basic frameworks I urge you to pursue in this process. Standards I call, my staff's heard all about them, the 1990 test and the E6 test. The 1990s test is simple. What were the military standards in 1990? And if they have changed, tell me why. Was it a necessary change based on the evolving landscape of combat? Or was the change due to a softening, weakening, or gender-based pursuit of other priorities? 1990 seems to be as good a place to start as any. And the E6 test. Ask yourself, does what you're doing make the leadership, accountability, and lethality efforts of an E6, or frankly an 03, does it make it easier or more complicated? Does the change empower staff sergeants, petty officers, and tech sergeants to get back to basics? The answer should be a resounding yes. The E6 test or 03 test clarifies a lot, and it clarifies quickly. Because war does not care if you're a man or a woman. Neither does the enemy.
That's true.
Nor does the weight of your rucksack, the size of an artillery round, or the body weight of a casualty on the battlefield who must be carried.
True.
This, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. Our female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world.
Now, I agree with them. Like, I agree with them on with women serving. It's just the problem is in certain situations or in certain branches of branches of the military, I don't think it'd be necessary for women to serve there, or honestly could put everybody at risk. To be quite on, yeah.
But so, you had these feminists that were like, "We don't need a man. We don't need this. We don't need that." I hope they fucking invoke the fucking the women to be enlisted. Then they're gonna have that fuck around and find out attitude real fucking quick.
And I get what you're saying, pretty much.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. See, as you can see.
But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral.
Yes.
If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent.
Look,
but it could be the result.
Yo.
Look, he's not being like he's not trying to single out fucking women at this point. He's just trying to say, like, look, you can't handle it. You shouldn't be in the fucking military.
Well, you shouldn't be in this branch of the military. Like, I mean, there's other places you could be where you don't gotta put yourself at risk for lifting
Navy and the Air Force and be like intelligence agents, stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I said, they can put themselves somewhere where they don't have to lift up a man or lift up something that they can't lift.
Yeah. And nobody's going to fault them for that either.
Yeah, nobody is. But the problem is there's people who's actually fighting for women to be in these positions where they can put themselves in danger or other people. It is strange, but here we are.
Yeah. So, it's funny, like they're pushing for this. Do you think those people would actually go into those positions, though?
No.
Likely not.
They're just social justice warriors thinking that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life
beta
or death.
males. Yep.
As we all know, this is you versus an enemy hell-bent on killing you. To be an effective, lethal fighting force, you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire.
This
is the only standard you would want for your kids.
Pause that. Set, come stand by my side. I got your back, bro. Fuck these fucking pussy ass fucking beta males, though.
Oh man, look, bro. Nobody's worried about the beta males. The only time the beta males scare us when it comes down to election time.
No, they're fodder when it comes down to it.
Yeah, but man, look, I ain't gonna cast doubt on the beta males. You know, enough of them get together. You never know what
I'm
might
going
happen.
to. I'm going to.
But hold on, Dave. You want to
Again,
say something you might regret now?
I really, you think I care? Set, you can come to my house. I got your back. I got a bunch of ammo. I got guns I'll give you. We're good, bro. If it comes down to it, come to my house. These beta males, no, they're gonna fold like paper fucking tigers.
All right. So when the apocalypse come, or if we go into World War III, I'm going to Dave's crib.
Yep,
All right, guys.
I got you, bro.
Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong. Third, we are attacking and ending the walking on eggshells and zero defect command culture. A risk-averse culture means officers execute not to lose instead of to win. A risk-averse culture means NCOs are not empowered to enforce standards. Commanders and NCOs don't take necessary risks or make tough adjustments for fear of rocking the boat or making mistakes. A blemish-free record is what peacetime leaders covet the most,
Yo, Set.
which is the worst of all incentives.
Set, pause that.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm reading chat, bro. Yo, these people are fucking insane.
Man, no, bro. You know who? Shout out to Sid. Sid, what's going on? You say you got to say something real quick.
Oh, that's Sid. I like
boy.
Sid. He's not retarded at the end of the day. He's a
Oh,
little
yeah, dude.
misguided.
You freaking bailed on me earlier.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
piss off. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, now you're talking all this shit like, oh, I got ammo, bro. Come up. I agree with all this shit. Earlier in voice chat, you were like, I don't really even like Trump, dude. I hate Trump, honestly.
I
Well,
don't.
he's been on
now-
that. He's been said that.
What?
Yo, Set, how often have I told you I don't like Trump?
Day one.
You don't like Trump?
No.
You're
You
going to
don't
get
like
up
the
here.
character.
He's going to get up on stage. And if you're still in chat, you're going to be glazing Trump the entire time. You're not going to find one thing to criticize him on.
Oh, I criticize him on a lot of things. Set,
Like
please
what?
have my back.
Well, it was usually when he says stupid stuff on the internet, when he or when he talks when he gets out of pocket, well, on the internet and with the press. And a lot of people, I mean, trust me, a lot of conservatives and MAGA was like sit there back in the day when in his first term would sit there and look at Trump and be like, bro, what are you doing? Don't do this to yourself.
Yeah.
Dude, he's way worse than he ever was in his first term.
Oh, come on, bro.
He's
Stop.
fallen for
Maybe
AI
hyperbolic.
video. He's fallen for AI videos of himself and posting AI videos of himself.
Bro, come on.
Really?
Bro,
do you care that
he
much?
is, dude.
You care that much?
Imagine if Biden did that. Imagine what you'd be saying.
Oh,
Biden
Biden
has
because
a
he's fucking brain
I
dead.
think Biden
But
has a sense
anyway.
of humor. That's what
If Biden was posting AI videos of himself and then realizing they were AI and deleting them, you would be like, "Oh my god, this guy's fucking insane."
No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
The clown.
Yo,
and
Sean,
okay.
Sean, do me a favor. Get after the idiot and have a nice night. I am thoroughly liberal fatigued at this point. Like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, well said, bro.
Have at it.
All right, guys. All right. Shout out to my man Big Wave Dave. I'll see you another time. And shout out to Sid.
I'm still here. I'm gonna listen, but fuck, bro.
All right, gotcha. All right then.
Job well done, bro. I'm about to head out.
All right,
I did my job there, though, bro.
Yes, you did, actually. Yes, you did. You do always got to come in and grill somebody. So I do appreciate you on that.
All right. Have a good night, dude.
All right, man. You too, brother.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later, big dog.
Senior leaders need to end the poisonous culture of risk aversion and empower our NCOs at all levels to enforce standards. Truth be told, for the most part, we don't need new standards. We just need to reestablish a culture where enforcing standards is possible. And that's why today at my direction, I'm issuing new policies that will overhaul the IG, EO, and MEO processes. I call it the no more walking on eggshells policy. We are liberating commanders and NCOs. We are liberating you. We are overhauling an inspector general process, the IG, that has been weaponized, putting complainers, ideologues, and poor performers in the driver's seat. We're doing the same with the equal opportunity and military equal opportunity policies, the EO and MEO at our department. No more frivolous complaints, no more anonymous complaints, no more repeat complainants, no more smearing reputations, no more endless waiting, no more legal limbo, no more sidetracking careers.
Oh, wow.
No more walking on eggshells.
Jesus, what happened to the military? Got invaded by a whole lot of Karens? Like, what happened? Like, all the Karens done descended on the military and just started doing a whole lot of bitching. Like, Jesus.
Of course, being a racist has been illegal in our formation since 1948. The same goes for sexual harassment. Both are wrong and illegal. Those kinds of infractions will be ruthlessly enforced.
Okay.
But telling someone to shave or get a haircut or to get in shape or to fix their uniform or to show up on time or to work hard, that's exactly the kind of discrimination we want.
I mean, you should walk into the military knowing that that's the requirements. That's actually crazy. Like, you should walk in there knowing that's what you got to do.
We are not civilians. You are not civilians. You are set apart for a distinct purpose. So we, as a department, need to stop acting and thinking like civilians and get back to basics and put the power back in the hands of commanders and NCOs. Commanders and NCOs who make life and death decisions. Commanders and NCOs who enforce standards and ensure readiness. Commanders and NCOs who in this War Department have to look in the mirror and have to pass the golden rule test. My kids, your kids, America's sons and daughters. So I urge you all here today and those watching, take this guidance and run with it. The core of this speech is the 10 directives we're announcing today. They were written for you, for Army leadership, for Navy leadership, for Marine Corps leadership, for Air Force leadership, Space Force leadership. These directives are designed to take the monkey off your back and put you, the leadership, back in the driver's seat. Move out with urgency because we have your back. I have your back. And the Commander-in-Chief has your back.
And shout out to my man Jace. I put a video in Discord General. Discord General. S.E.T. Trump cracks me up. All right, I gotta see it. Let me see.
And when we give you this guidance, we know mistakes will be made. It's the nature of leadership. But you should not pay for earnest mistakes for your entire career. And that's why today, at my direction, we're making changes to the retention of adverse information on personnel records that will allow leaders with forgivable, earnest, or minor infractions to not be encumbered by those infractions in perpetuity. People make honest mistakes, and our mistakes should not define an entire career. Otherwise, we only try not to make mistakes, and that's not the business we're in. We need risk takers and aggressive leaders and a culture that supports you. Fourth, at the War Department, promotions across the Joint Force will be based on one thing: merit. Colorblind, gender-neutral, merit-based. The entire promotion process, including evaluations of warfighting capabilities, is being thoroughly re-examined. We've already done a lot in this area, but more changes are coming soon. We'll promote top-performing officers and NCOs faster and get rid of poor performers more quickly. Evaluations, education, and field exercises will become real evaluations, not box checks, for every one of us at every level. These same reforms happened before World War II as well. General George Marshall and Secretary of War Henry Stimson did the same thing. And we won a world war because of it. As it happens, when he started the job, Chairman Kane gave me a frame and a photo to hang in my office. A matching frame and photo hangs in his. It's a photo of Marshall and Stimson preparing for World War II. Those two leaders famously kept the door open between their offices for the entirety of the war. They worked together, civilian and uniform, every single day. Chairman Kane and I do the same. There is no daylight between us. Our doors are always open. Our job together is to ensure our military is led by the very best, ready to answer the nation's call. Fifth, as you have seen, and the media has obsessed over, I have fired a number of senior officers since taking over. The previous chairman, other members of the Joint Chiefs, combatant commanders, and other commanders. The rationale for me has been straightforward. It's nearly impossible to change a culture with the same people who helped create or even benefited from that culture, even if that culture was created by a previous president and previous secretary. My approach has been simple. When in doubt, assess the situation, follow your gut, and if it's the best for the military, make a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the president every single day. But in many ways, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. As foolish and reckless as the woke department was, those officers were following elected political leadership.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, the military should never get political. And I've heard even military vets or the ex-Marines will say, yeah, I mean, we really not supposed to have too much of a outward comment on the president. He is what he is. That's our commander in chief. It's like, that's just how they're supposed to feel. They're supposed to have a non-political bias. At the end of the day, they don't care who it is. That's their commander in chief.
An entire generation of generals and admirals were told that they must parrot the insane fallacy that, quote, our diversity is our strength. Of course, we know our unity is our strength. They had to put out dizzying DEI and LGBTQI plus statements. They were told females and males are the same thing, or that males who think they're females totally normal. They were told that we need a green fleet and electric tanks. They were told to kick out Americans who refuse an emergency vaccine. They followed civilian policies set by foolish and reckless political leaders. Our job, my job, has been to determine which leaders simply did what they must to answer the prerogatives of civilian leadership, and which leaders are truly invested in the woke department and therefore incapable of embracing the War Department and executing new lawful orders. That's it. It's that simple. So for the past 8 months, we've gotten a good look under the hood of our officer corps. We've done our best to thoroughly assess the human terrain.
Truth.
We've had to make trade-offs.
And shout out to my man Chase. He says, be careful, S.E.T. No such thing as an ex-Marine. Yeah, that's true. And no such thing as ex-CIA either. So those are two things we can agree on.
And some difficult decisions. It's more of an art than a science. We have been and will continue to be judicious.
I'd rather deal with an ex-Marine than ex-CIA, I'll tell you that.
But also expeditious. The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the Mackenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons. More leadership changes will be made, of that I'm certain. Not because we want to, but because we must. Once again, this is life and death. The sooner we have the right people, the sooner we can advance the right policies. Personnel is policy. But I look out at this group, and I see great Americans. Leaders who have given decades to our great republic at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. I would thank you for your service.
Well,
but I suspect, I know, the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts full. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms. You are hereby liberated to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense, constitutional leader that you joined the military to be. We need you locked in on the M, not the D, the E, or the I, not the DEI or the DIE of dime. By that, I mean the M, military, of the instruments of national power. We have entire departments across the government dedicated to diplomatic, informational, and economic lines of effort. We do the M. Nobody else does. And our GoFos need to master it in every domain and every scenario. No more distractions, no more political ideologies, no more debris. Now, of course, we're going to disagree at times. We would not be Americans if we didn't. Being a leader in a large organization like ours means having frank conversations and differences of opinion. You will win some arguments and you will lose some arguments. But when civilian leaders issue lawful orders, we execute. We are professionals in the profession of arms. Our entire constitutional system is predicated upon this understanding. Now, seems like a small thing, but it's not. This includes as well the behavior of our troops online. To that end, I want to thank and recognize the services for their new proactive social media policies. Use them. Anonymous, online, or keyboard complaining is not worthy of a warrior. It's cowardice masquerading as conscience. Anonymous, unit-level social media pages that trash commanders, demoralize troops, and undermine unit cohesion must not be tolerated. Again, O3s, E6s. Sixth, we must train and we must maintain. Any moment that we are not training on our mission or maintaining our equipment is a moment we are less prepared for preventing or winning the next war. That is why today, at my direction, we are drastically reducing the ridiculous amount of mandatory training that individuals and units must execute. We've already ended the most egregious. Now we're giving you back real time. Less PowerPoint briefings and fewer online courses, more time in the motor pool, and more time on the range. Our job is to make sure you have the money, equipment, weapons, and parts to train and maintain, and then you take it from there. You all know this because it's common sense. The tougher and the higher the standards in our units, the higher the retention rates in those units. Warriors want to be challenged. Troops want to be tested. When you don't train and you don't maintain, you demoralize. And that's when our best people decide to take their talents to the civilian world. The leaders who created the woke department have already driven out too many hard chargers. We reverse that trend right now. There is no world in which high-intensity war exists without pain, agony, and human tragedy. Thanks. We are in a dangerous line of work. You are in a dangerous line of work. We may lose good people. But let no warrior cry out from the grave, if only I had been properly trained. We will not lose warfighters because we failed to train or equip them or resource them. Shame on us if we do. Train like your warriors' lives depend on it. Because they do.
I mean,
to that point,
yeah.
Basic training is being restored to what it should be. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits.
Healthy fear.
Ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits.
Why not?
This does not mean they can be reckless or violate the law, but they can use tried and true methods to motivate new recruits. To make,
just rough them up by the collar a little bit, damn near throw them on the ground, tell them drop and give me 50. I mean, that's not too bad. It's not like he's kicking your stomach in or something.
In the warriors they need to be.
Well,
back to basic.
Taking the lunch out of your stomach could be worse.
At basic as well. Of course, and this basic training is not where mission readiness should end. The nature of the evolving threat environment demands that everyone in every job must be ready to join the fight if needed. A core credo of the Marine Corps is every Marine a rifleman. It means that everyone, regardless of MOS, is proficient enough to engage an enemy threat at sea, in the air, or in a so-called rear area. We need to ensure that every member of our uniformed military maintains baseline proficiency in basic combat skills, especially because the next war, like the last, will likely not have a rear area. Finally, as President Trump rightly pointed out when he changed the department name, the United States has not won a major theater war since the name was changed to the Department of Defense in 1947. One conflict stands out.
The name got bad luck.
In stark contrast. The Gulf War. Why? Well, there's a number of reasons, but it was a limited mission with overwhelming force and a clear end state. But why did we execute and win the Gulf War the way we did in 1991? There's two overwhelming reasons. One was President Ronald Reagan's military buildup gave an overwhelming advantage. And two, military and Pentagon leadership had previous formative battlefield experiences. The men who led this department during the Gulf War were mostly combat veterans of the Vietnam War. They said never again to mission creep or nebulous end states. The same holds true today. Our civilian and military leadership is chock full of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who say never again to nation building and nebulous end states. This clear-eyed view, all the way in the White House, combined with President Trump's military buildup, postures us for future victories if, and we will, and when we embrace the War Department. And we must. We are preparing every day. We have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters. That's all I ever wanted as a platoon leader. And it's all my E6 squad leaders ever wanted, back to that E6 rule. We let our leaders fight their formations, and then we have their back. It's very simple, yet incredibly powerful. A few months ago, I was at the White House when President Trump announced his Liberation Day for America's trade policy. It was a landmark day. Well, today is another Liberation Day. The liberation of America's warriors, in name, in deed, and in authorities.
That ain't sound too right.
You kill people and break things for a living. You are not politically correct and don't necessarily belong always in polite society. We are not an army of one. We are a joint force of millions of selfless Americans. We are warriors. We are purpose-built, not for fair weather, blue skies, or calm seas. We were built to load up in the back of helicopters, 5 tons, or Zodiacs in the dead of night, in fair weather or foul, to go to dangerous places, to find those who would do our nation harm, and deliver justice on behalf of the American people in close.
The only thing he said so far that kind of concerned me was the whole untying our soldiers' hands from getting the job done. I'm like, whoa, I mean, Hegseth, what do you mean by that? Like, I mean, you know, as long as it's not no war crimes, I agree with you, but like, what do you mean?
And brutal combat if necessary. You are different. We fight not because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. You see, the Ivy League faculty lounges will never understand us, and that's okay. because they could never do what you do. The media will mischaracterize us, and that's okay, because deep down they know the reason they can do what they do is you. In this profession, you feel comfortable inside the violence so that our citizens can live peacefully. Lethality is our calling card, and victory our only acceptable end state. In closing, a few weeks ago, at our monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service, I recited a commander's prayer. It's a simple yet meaningful prayer for wisdom for commanders and leaders. I encourage you to look it up if you've never seen it. But the prayer, it ends like this. And most of all, Lord, please keep my soldiers safe. Lead them, guide them, protect them, watch over them. And as you gave all of yourself for me, help me give all of myself for them. And amen. I have prayed this prayer many times since I've had the privilege of being your secretary. And I will continue to pray this prayer for each of you as you command and lead our nation's finest. Go forth and do good things, hard things. President Trump has your back, and so do I. And you'll hear from him shortly. Move out and draw fire, because we are the War Department. Godspeed.
Room, attention.
All right. I mean, hey, he said what he needed to say, and I'm all in agreement with him. But everybody been freaking out about it, and we'll get into those reactions. But first, let's get over to the right side of media about this government shutdown, because, well, it happened, guys. These guys couldn't come to an agreement. Apparently, Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer wanted $1.4 trillion for healthcare for illegals, allegedly. Really, I think they just wanted $1.5 trillion added to healthcare overall. I mean, it don't matter who it went out to. So, I mean, what can I say? The same guys that was complaining about spending now want to add $1 trillion, over $1 trillion in spending. It's absolutely hilarious. But, excuse me, let's get right into it. Right side of media with Jesse Waters.
We haven't had Columbus Day yet, but it's already feeling like Halloween. Hakeem can't find a costume to slip his hips into, so Trump made him wear a sombrero. And now Hips is mad.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video.
Yeah, he got pretty mad when Trump did this to him. Perfect segue into my man Jess video. I got you, brother.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Please smash the
Which a lot of them did. I mean, bro, that's hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out AI.
Like button if you love that video. This has caused an epic meltdown from Democrats all across the internet, forcing them into their knee-jerk reaction of calling everything racist. Even
so, there's the context right there of what Hakeem Jeffries is pissed off about. That's why he's upset, which is understandable, because I'm gonna be real with you, that's downright funny and is hella accurate. And you know what? Maybe if their inner voice got to speak, maybe that's exactly what we would hear. I mean, man, AI is reaching into their souls, and then they're bringing us to what their heart really feels.
And now Hips is mad.
And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face.
Oh, no. That wasn't Trump. No, that wasn't Trump, bro. This was Trump. The pettiness of Trump is astounding. I'll be real with you. It's like, as a low-key a petty guy myself, I'm damn near proud that he's my president. I'm not even gonna lie. But all right, though, this is Trump. He put this, bro, on the White House. The White House YouTube page. This is what he did. He's like, you know what? Great. I'm going to have a 24-hour running Democrat shutdown. Democrats in their own words. Just have this running for like 24 hours straight.
Hundreds of thousands of people would have not gotten their paychecks. Federal employees would have been furloughed, sent home.
Our military won't get paid. Head Start teachers won't get paid. Our wildfire fighters won't get paid. Federal prison guards won't get paid.
A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos. Our veterans could see regional VA offices shut down.
Really?
And support services put on hold.
Shutdowns are not good for the economy.
Shutdowns cost taxpayers billions of dollars per week.
Shutdowns cost the economy billions of dollars.
They cost businesses money. They could even cost a downgrade to the nation's credit rating.
Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs.
So all these, cons of shutting down the government, and y'all did it anyway, and shut out Schumer, and literally in his own words.
Could see benefits halted.
If this shutdown continues indefinitely, 39 million Americans will risk not having enough food. They will lose their SNAP benefits in February. So that means American children will be going to bed hungry. It's unacceptable.
The longer that this shutdown goes on, the more Americans that will be affected.
Critical services and our economy are being threatened with poison pill partisanship. Shutting down the government should not be a negotiating tactic.
Hostage taking is all they have left, a last gasp of those who cannot cope with the realities of our democracy.
So how's that working out? Yep. And guess what? Like I said, it's going to start over and run all day. Like literally 24-hour run.
Hostage instead of just letting them do their jobs, which they want to do while we work out our differences. So wrong.
This is democracy.
So, yep, that's what's playing all day live, by the way. When I mean live, I mean it is live, guys. And it'll be playing probably until the government opens back up. That's how petty he is. I mean, let's be honest. You got to love it. Live on the White House for 24-hour live running. I mean, if you're doing that to get your point across, well, man. Okay, I mean, let's be honest. You can't be mad at him. You can't be mad at Trump. Dems kind of walked themselves into this, even though they're going to try to talk themselves out.
Say it to my face.
Hakeem's threatening to shut down the government if Trump doesn't give illegals free health care. And now he's angry because Trump posted a video of him standing next to Schumer in a sombrero. It's AI. And this is the same guy who was photoshopping his hips to make him look slimmer. And now he's upset Trump photoshopped him wearing a sombrero. Democrats held a press conference.
I mean, you think that Schumer would be more offended since he's the guy, you know, that they're using his voice. He's saying all that wild stuff about the Dems being pieces of shits and all that good stuff. So you would think that Schumer would be more mad than Hakeem Jeffries.
About an AI sombrero.
What does that shameful man do? You post something that draws a sombrero and a mustache on the leader with whom you're supposed to be negotiating?
If you won't stop calling us fascists, the least we can do is Photoshop sombreros on your heads.
Oh, God.
Hakeem's more mad about
I mean, y'all calling us fascists and we're just making, you know, funny AI videos. That's it. I mean, it's better than, you know, trying to put people against you by pretty much comparing you guys to Nazis. We'd rather do this to you guys. This is more acceptable. Shut up.
Video in response to his meeting with Chuck.
Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these...
ain't no need for hateful language when you got AI. Oh, man.
A silly sombrero than 10 million illegals invading. Chuck hit the Senate floor today and said, if the hat doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of Leader Jeffries and me.
Hilarious.
With sombreros, fake music,
impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me.
Why
It was pretty damn good, though.
are Democrats offended by a sombrero? They're acting like it's racist. Didn't Jill Biden call Hispanics tacos? Chuck didn't say diddly. CNN's going wall to wall on sombrero gate.
Is that appropriate in your view?
Look, I think sometimes the president plays with the press like a little boy and a flashlight and a dog. And he's shining the flashlight here and he's shining it there. What he's saying is this offer from the Democrats is ridiculous. $1.5 trillion on top of funding that they already agreed to.
Why do Republicans have to condemn a hat? It's what Mexicans wear to keep the sun out of their eyes. Trump's just poking fun because they're holding the government hostage over illegal alien health care. They just got trounced for open borders, and now they're playing chicken with a president who doesn't blink.
We'll probably have a shutdown because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare to illegal immigrants. And what that does is it keeps them coming into our country. And in many cases, they come in from prisons, jails, and mental institutions. And we can't let that happen.
One White House official said he read all the ish they're asking for, and he said, on second thought, go F yourself. If Democrats want to shut down the government so Jose can get free sex change operations, do it. Trump doesn't need the dinero. He already got everything he wanted from the big, beautiful bill. Sorry, guys, bank's closed.
Here we are at the entrance to the House of Representatives. Not a single soul. It's locked.
This is just another game of heads I win, tails you lose. Either Democrats cave and give Trump the win, or they hold everyone hostage and Trump starts doging at warp speed.
The last person that wants it shut down is us. Now, with that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Trump was asked if he thinks anyone would blame him. He said no.
Yeah, let's start by cutting all their favorite NGOs and wasteful government programs. We can just start ending all of those since they want to shut down the government. No, let's not end all the stuff that works out for us. Let's just F with the Democrats and let's shut down and fire all their employees since they want to play.
People are smarter than that. Everyone knows the Democrats are deranged.
I mean, bro, it's a perfect example of this right here.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
And they just hate to see it.
We just need Chuck and Hips' John Hancock.
This bill, this 24 pages is sitting at the desk in the Senate right now. It could be picked up and passed. The government stays open. So this is a made-up problem by the Democrats who desperately need to satisfy a political base that is hostile to Donald Trump.
This isn't like a 1,000-page bill that Congress just force feeds us on Christmas Eve. It's simple.
No. And shout out to my man Maine. I've just seen your Rumble rant. So shout out to Maine on Rumble. He said, I thought they didn't like correction officers. I thought they didn't like him either. But hey, man, look, they pick and choose what law enforcement they like. Okay. Like the only reason that they like the Capitol Police is because of January 6th. Otherwise, they hate police. So they pick and choose.
And Democrats aren't even unified. Fetterman says Schumer's stupid.
Right now, it's like you're running the risk of plunging our nation into chaos. The president has a lot of levers he could pull. This is one we could pull, but why would we pull that lever? Because that allows him to pull a lot more levers and make a lot of changes about the government.
A Times poll says,
AKA, this wasn't all the way thought out by Jeffries and Akeem. They were so they were so anti-Trump that it kind of got in their, it kind of blinded them. So it kind of fogged their vision because as my man Fetterman said, is you just gave him more cards. You shutting down the government gave him more cards to F with us. You should have just kept the government going. We had these debates. We'll talk about it because the Obama subsidies that Akeem was honestly complaining about, they don't end until December. So they had plenty of time to to negotiate that, to have those conversations. But apparently they said, no, we're going to try to force a government shutdown on you. And we're going to try to see if we could place the blame on you. But That's not working. Even your own, even Dems are kind of like looking at them like, what are you guys doing? You're playing into Trump's hands, and two, it's kind of like a win-win situation for him. The government goes, he gets CR bill, he gets his funding, or the government shuts down, and he just starts like honestly effing with us in ways we wouldn't have known or we couldn't have imagined until you let him shut the government down, or you guys shut the government down. And this is what the Dems are gonna say. Or they control the House, the Senate, the office, but we still need your vote. Like, you know that, right? Like, what you're pretty much saying is like, what, you think that we're under a one-party rule? Like, bro, I thought you guys were all about democracy. Why don't you participate in it?
65% of Americans say Democrats are dopes if they shut down the government for illegals. You know who else?
It's like, we need Democrat votes as well. I mean, that's the whole reason why you guys are there, is to vote in the interest of your constituents. I mean, not for the radicals in your party.
Agrees? Crooked.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country.
Back when Lewinsky was in the White House,
made sense.
Schumer made more sense.
People say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
So what changed? Chuck needs new voters because Americans
back when Dems made sense in the 90s.
Have Democrats figured out. Even the media is like, Hakeem, do you even know what you're doing?
It's time to be a Dem.
If the government shuts down, it's their decision to do it.
If you shut down the government, you last time, Democrats point out, you lose FEMA, you lose troop pay, you lose all these different things that are so important to Democrats when they're on the other side of this.
Hakeem's getting eaten alive. The grown-ups say take the deal. But the base, if they take it, is threatening an open mutiny.
Americans have told us.
Yeah, because Schumer learned last time that his base is not mature people. Like, they're not rational people. He conceded last time to the CR bill, and they said, oh, you betrayed us. You've bent the knee to the fascists. You bent your knee to Hitler, all because you wanted to keep the government going. So all these services don't just turn off on us. Like, yeah, Schumer did the adult thing. And it's crazy how he's now conceded to the most immature group of politicians in history.
Over and over again, we want you to fight for health care. That's what we're doing today. Democrats are going to hold the line.
A government shutdown could damage the Democrats even more than Kamala, even more than the coup. Nancy.
I mean, here's the thing. Dems, they don't understand that you lost a lot more than just an election. I mean, y'all lost the argument. They're like, think about it. We heard all your arguments, which I wanted for health care, what you wanted to do with immigrants and taxes and all that. And we said no. We chose Trump's plan. And you guys don't understand that. I mean, what? You guys just think you lost an election? Really, you lost the debate.
Would never let it get this far. Hakeem's running straight into a buzzsaw, and he's complaining about a sombrero and taking shutdown selfies. Look at that. Men should never take selfies. He didn't Photoshop his hips this time. He just cropped them out. No one respects selfie sombrero.
Why is it that the Democrats, in my mind, are facing more pressure, those Democratic leaders? And that is because their base thinks that their party leaders are weak. Among Republicans, 80% of their base thinks Republicans have strong leaders. Yet among Democrats, just 35% of Democrats say their party has strong leaders.
Trump could break the party into pieces. Hakeem and Chuck could lose their leadership. Either way, it's a win-win for Donnie Boy. The government shuts down. Trump doges. Democrats get blamed, so they cave and reopen. Or
Suckers.
Democrats cave now. The government stays open, and their base storms the Capitol. They can cave now or later, because everybody knows Trump's not giving free health care to 20 million migrants. But the president's not letting Chuck and Hips go home empty-handed. After their meeting yesterday in the Oval, he handed them both Trump 2028 hats. They said no, but when they cave and come back, they're getting a hat that says Trump was right about everything.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube?
And boy, that's gonna burn them up. That's gonna burn them inside. Actually, the hat might burn to the touch. But all right, guys, let's hear Hakeem Jeffries defend this position on CNN with Abby Phillips. So, and you know what? Shout out Abby, because she actually gave a decent interview, not just kind of letting him escape with the BS.
Are Democrats being hypocritical here now on the verge of a shutdown?
Yes.
Not at all. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And we've indicated that we will sit.
I mean, okay, we control the presidency, and yeah, we're right. We do control the House and all that good stuff, but y'all are in there as well. We do need y'all vote as well. Like, yes, there's some times where we can leave y'all off to the side, but not all the time, my man. Like, most of the time, we do want y'all to play along because it makes this whole, you know, process of democracy go pretty smoothly. Goes pretty smooth. We hear both sides, but when you guys just grandstand and you don't want to compromise, here's the thing. 1.5 trillion is crazy. Maybe y'all been able to get Trump to do, like, I don't know, an extra 50 billion, 100 billion for the rural areas. Like, but let's be honest, though. I don't think that's what they wanted. I didn't think they really actually wanted to actually help fund hospitals. They really just wanted to help people abuse the healthcare system. Well, 1.5 trillion. I mean, if you really cared about hospitals, look, Trump cut $930 billion over the next 10 years. Why not just ask for, like, all right, bro, can you at least, I don't know, cut that in half? I don't know, like maybe just do 300 billion cut. Work in the middle somewhere.
Down with anyone, anytime, any place to try to find a path forward in terms of reaching a bipartisan spending agreement that avoids a government shutdown, meets the needs of the American people, and deals with the painful Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating people all across America. Republicans have basically demonstrated zero interest in trying to work out any differences from a policy perspective that we may have, because
like, you're arguing against Trump's big beautiful bill, something that the Republicans had a hard time convincing each other to vote yes on that bill. One of the main things was the cuts to Medicaid. So the fact that you're trying to go back on that, you're trying to go back on the Republicans' grand plan, which is the big beautiful bill. They're not going for that, and you knew that. So you pulled up in bad faith, knowing you were pulling up with a non-negotiable.
At the end of the day, they want to shut the government down, as they've done repeatedly over the last several decades.
Well, let me ask you about that, because House Speaker Mike Johnson, your colleague on the other side of the aisle, he just spoke with Caitlin Collins, and he says that really what they're asking for is time. Listen.
Chuck Schumer has made the decision unilaterally. He's the leader of the Democrats in the Senate to keep the government shut down for his own personal reasons. It is extremely selfish. We didn't put partisan provisions in the CR. We could have. I could have loaded that up with all of our partisan policy preferences, but I didn't, because we're operating in good faith. The reason we need, again, just the short-term extension to November 21st is to allow the appropriators to do their job. They need more time to do it in a bipartisan fashion, by the way. They agreed, Republicans and Democrats agreed, November 21st would be the appropriate date to extend it. That's all we're asking for is time.
So I want to get your reaction to that, but also, I mean, from your perspective, have you heard any concrete assurances?
Yeah, because one of his arguments is, and we're talking about Jeffrey's argument is, well, we want to pretty much extend the Obama, the Obama subsidies, the Obamacare subsidies. And the problem is those don't run out until December. So you could have definitely waited. You didn't have to shut down the government over this.
Is from Speaker Johnson that your policy concerns might be addressed if they are given more time.
Not at all. And what we've seen with respect to Republicans over the last 15 years is a consistent effort to try to blow up the Affordable Care Act and hurt millions of Americans who rely upon that enlightened piece of legislation in order to provide health care for themselves and for their families. Over the next few days, more than 20 million Americans are going to experience notices that will indicate that their premiums, copays, and deductibles are about to skyrocket, in some instances by thousands of dollars a year. People are going to face medical bankruptcy. People will be unable to provide health care for themselves and for their families.
Bro, you're shutting down the government. I mean, there's going to be healthcare problems with that as well. I mean, what are you talking about?
And all of this is on top of the fact that Republicans passed their one big ugly bill, which is now law, including the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, hospitals,
which needed to be done because we had some of the largest spending in Medicaid in American history. So don't leave that part out.
nursing homes, and community-based health clinics all across America are closing, and they're triggering a possible $536 billion cut to Medicare at the end of the year because of that one.
Wait, how much to Medicare? Because I ain't gonna lie though, like Medicare is at 1.2 trillion. It needs some cutting.
Across America are closing, and they're triggering a possible $536 billion cut to Medicare
Fair.
at the end of the year because of that one big ugly bill.
I mean, yeah, you want to know what our biggest expenditures are, Akeem Jeffries? It's Social Security, which is our biggest one. And then we got healthcare. And then, of course, well, what was it? Yeah, healthcare and social services. Well, healthcare and Medicaid, and and healthcare and what was it? Social Security. And nah, not military. It's on the tip of my tongue. But for sure, healthcare and Social Security are our biggest expenses. So we do need to make cuts in there. We do, like, think about it. When you got to work your budget, you're trying to do less spending. Where's the first place you go to? Well, where do I spend the most? And where we spend the most is Social Security and healthcare, like it or not.
If Congress does not act.
So
this is an extraordinary assault on the health care of the American people.
What
and
is
we're
the
simply
exit
saying
strategy here,
this has to be
though?
dealt with and dealt with now.
Yeah, but what is the exit strategy
Well, the exit-
here
yeah.
from a shutdown? Because once the government is shut down, which it will be in 2
Mhm.
hours,
Yep.
how do you get out of this? There's
Already
one
happened.
Democrat who told CNN there is no way to play this shutdown game and win. And Democrats know that because Republicans, for the last several shutdowns, have been the ones playing this game. So how are you going to get out of it if we are in a shutdown?
Yeah, last time it was Trump who let the shutdown happen. I mean, he famously took credit for it. He's like, look, bro, look, you can blame me. I shut down the government because I want a border. I want a wall. I want a wall. That's why Trump shut down the government. At least Trump actually took it to the chin and said, oh, this is all on me since I'm the demanding party. This is all on me. Dems, show that same accountability that Trump did in the first term. He said, yo, this is all on me because I'm the one asking for a border and y'all are low-key not letting me have it. I'll shut down the government. Trump took that one on the chin. Even if we all disagreed with it, he took it on the chin. He said, all right. And let's be real, I do not agree with how Trump chose to shut down the government because, like I said, it's due to a man. He's like, yo, I want to build this water. Like, I mean, bro, we could talk about it later. He's like, no, I want it now. Shut down the government. Now here's the Dems pretty much doing the exact same thing. I want $1.5 trillion in healthcare spending. It's like, no, we're not doing that. All right, cool. We're going to shut down the government. But here's the thing, though. Are you Dems going to take the same accountability Trump did? Because Schumer and Akeem Jeffries should have came out and said, we're going to take the responsibility. We're the demanding party. We want to shut it down over $1.5 trillion for Medicaid. And there you go. Just like Trump did. I mean, y'all like to say that y'all are above Trump, but here y'all are, like, I mean, real with you, skirting accountability, trying to avoid it. Well, at least Trump took it on the chin. Actually, he said in front of the world that it was his fault.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong in terms of the Republican perspective, but Republicans have been lecturing America all year that they control the government and that they're jamming their policy preferences down the throats of the American people. So how is it the case that at this particular moment in time, they're suddenly at the mercy of Democrats who are in the minority in the House or in the Senate when Donald Trump has consistently behaving like he's all powerful, including in the things that he continues to try to do today with respect to the U.S. military? All we're saying is that we need to have a conversation in good faith that's authentic, sitting down with legislative leaders on the other side of the aisle.
Oh, and shout out to my man Jay. He says Dems could kiss midterms goodbye if this goes on and on. Exactly, without a good argument. With the example I just gave, I don't even know how any Dem could honestly debate it at this point. Like I said, at least Trump took accountability as a demanding party. Now, Dems are the demanding party, and they won't even take accountability. Like, that's like, honestly, it's petty. It's really shameful. I can't even, it's petty and it's shameful at the same time because you guys like to act like you're so above this man Trump when he at least took accountability.
In the White House to both fund the government in a way that meets the needs of the American people, but at the same time doesn't continue this effort by Republicans to gut the health care of everyday Americans. particularly given the fact that the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which benefit millions of working class Americans, are about to expire, and Republicans have shown no interest in dealing with that critically important issue.
Are you worried that a shutdown could supercharge Trump's efforts to gut the federal government even further, and then on top of that, stack the federal government with Trump's people to pursue whatever partisan agenda that they might have? I mean, is there a risk that this could all backfire?
Donald Trump has been gutting the federal government.
Bro, see, I hate people who have like these long paragraphs and then be completely wrong. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a fucking idiot. Social Security is what people pay into. Something people should never speak. Some people should never speak. But in the fiscal year 2024, the U.S. spent $1.2 trillion on Social Security. Retirement disability survivors, roughly 22.4% of total federal spending. So yes, we do spend money on Social Security. And wait, oh yes, and do you remember what they use to spend? You know what the money they use to spend? Our taxpayer dollars. So yes, you are right that we do pay into it for them to spend it, because that's what the government used to spend money. Is your taxpayer dollars. Did you forget that?
Since January 20th. In ways that are only
you
going
gotta
to
grill
be
some idiots in the
restrained
chat sometimes
by the courts, and there's nothing that he can do in this particular instance that would be consistent with the law, and he will be held back by the courts at the appropriate time if he takes this aggressive action, which violates the law. But more importantly, public sentiment is going to what ultimately leads the Republicans to get back to the negotiating table. We saw that during the shutdown in 2013, 14-day government shutdown, and eventually the Republicans concluded that public sentiment was not with them, and they engaged in an unconditional surrender. And during the shutdown in 2018 into 2019, when Donald Trump was the president, and it began in the same way. Republicans controlled the House and the Senate. It lasted for 35 days. And at the end of that process, longest government shutdown in American history, the Republicans realized they couldn't sustain their position any longer. They engaged in an unconditional surrender, and the government was opened back up. Hopefully, this time around, it will only be a matter of hours or days.
The difference, though, Leader Jeffries, between those incidents and this one is that Democrats in those times were the ones saying, let's just fund the government. Let's not negotiate in this moment. Now the shoe is on the other foot. You acknowledge that, right?
No, actually, we're saying let's fund the government. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Republicans have adopted a my way or the highway approach. They basically have said, take it or leave it with respect to our partisan Republican spending bill that continues cuts that were first put into place in March of this year that hurt veterans, hurt children and families, hurt childcare, hurt housing affordability, and hurt the health care of the American people. And they're suggesting now that continuing that funding level is something that we should just accept and allow it to be jammed down the throats of the American people when we voted against it in March because it hurt the American people.
Let's talk about
well, I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. One, it hasn't hurt the American people. You haven't been able to record no deaths that you said that were gonna happen because of these cuts to Medicare, or I'm sorry, but Medicaid. So you completely lied to the American people, and nobody's really called you on your shit. So I would hold them accountable for that. So yeah, can you please name to me that the at least 10,000 people, because you said by the end of the year we'll have like 1 million people dead because of healthcare. So can you at least name to me, like, I don't know, shit, 2,000, 1,000? Can you name 50? So yeah, bro, we're not hearing that no more. I mean, you guys fear mongered about cuts to help Medicaid, but here's the thing: American people were working off about $400 billion in Medicaid, and we were good. Now it blown up over Biden, and now we're all acting like, oh, this should be the usual. We were spending the most in Medicaid ever. That's a problem.
Though who you're negotiating with, because I think this is
no. Look it up. Look up to Medicaid spending before Biden. You'd be amazed. Well, you would be amazed at what we were getting off with.
Important. I mean, you want to get to the table with the Republicans and perhaps the president. but I'm sure you may have seen this. I mean, President Trump just moments ago posted pictures from your meeting in the Oval Office where he, I guess, apparently tried to hand you Trump 2028 hats. Then he posted another video, an AI video of you in a sombrero once again. This time he's in the background. You see it, the audience can see it there, as a mariachi band. I mean, I think the question I have for you is, do you think that this is even a White House, a president that cares to negotiate in good faith at all? Because it sounds like this meeting that you had this week has only resulted in trolling and not in any serious conversations.
Well, that's exactly the point. He's an unserious individual. The Republicans are unserious at this point. They have no interest in having a good faith conversation.
Wow, that's crazy, because you came up with a bad faith. You came up in bad faith when you came to negotiate with Trump. Like I said, you knew part of the big beautiful bill was this $930 billion cut in Medicaid over the next 10 years. So that's like what, $93 billion cut to Medicaid a year for the next 10. And you came in there knowing damn well Trump was going to say no. Bro, he cut $930 billion. What the hell you look like asking for $1.5 trillion? Like, really think about how that sounds, guys. Like, that doesn't even make sense to ask somebody that. If I'm trying to cut, like, let's say I'm trying to cut my spending by, I don't know, like $1,000 a month. The hell do let's say my significant other walks up to me and say, well, do you think you could buy this one thing for $2,000? Like, the hell? Do you not see me trying to cut spending? Now you want to act for double of what I'm trying to cut? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's honestly, it is in bad faith. And he's the only person that was operating in bad faith. If he was operating in good faith, he'd walk to Trump and be like, look, can we get more spending on rural hospitals? Can we do that? Like 50 billion. I mean, can we do like 150 billion? If you really cared, Akeem, if you really cared about funding these hospitals, you wouldn't ask for such an outrageous number.
And all of the behavior, erratic, unhinged behavior that we've seen subsequent to that White House meeting should suggest to the American people who actually is trying to drive us toward a government shutdown. We continue to say we're willing to have a bipartisan discussion to arrive at a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people in terms of their health, public safety, and economic well-being, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living, not allowing...
Remember, they're shutting down the government. As a demanding party, they're the ones not willing to let the CR bill go through because they want $1.5 trillion in Medicaid spending. So, yeah, this is their fault. Like I said, go back in Trump's first term when he said it's my fault because I want the border built. He took accountability. Why can't they?
Millions of Americans to
expect. Wait, hold on. Do I need to bring up that exchange to where Trump literally told Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, nah, it's cool. Blame it on me. It's all good. Like, they need to take that same stance since they're the demanding party and stop being cowards. Because it's honestly pathetic. And it's like making me truly lose respect for this guy. Him and Schumer. I've almost lost all respect for them. Because they want to tout how they're just so high and mighty, but yet they fall below Trump's standard every time.
Experience dramatically increased healthcare premiums, copays, and deductibles. That's a reasonable position in defense of the quality of life of the American people. We just don't have serious negotiating partners right now on the other side of the aisle because they're engaging in this erratic behavior, posting racist, fake AI videos, and it speaks for itself in terms of the American people concluding who's serious and who's deadly unserious.
When he tried to hand you that Trump 2028 hat, what was your reaction?
Well, actually, he did not try to hand
I doubt he tried.
2028 hat. They just randomly appeared in the middle of the meeting on the desk. It was the strangest thing ever. And I just looked at the hat, looked at JD Vance, who was seated.
Hey, you know, it'd be so hilarious. Like, look, it'd have been hilarious because imagine he'd have brought out the Trump hat, right? You got the true Trump 2028 hats, and then he brings out a picture of Kool-Aid and some nice presidential glasses, and he says, "So, do we have a deal?" Like, bro, can you imagine how freaking funny that'd have been? So, anyway, though, let's get over to my man Jet. He says, "I hope Trump plays mariachi music when Jeffries and Schumer come crawling back to the table when they realize they effed up." Yeah, and they're about to realize real soon.
Don't you
Oh,
got a
man.
problem with this?
They're
And he
screwing
said no
themselves.
comment. And that was the end of it.
I would, yeah. I'm being quite honest with you, my man. You don't really have nothing to stand on. And the fact that you expect the government, I mean, Trump to capitulate to you guys is absolutely hilarious. Kind of shows that you guys, well, honestly, are crybabies. Like I said, 1.5 trillion in spending, and you thought you was going to get that off with Trump. Like, come on, guys. Can we honestly be serious here? Can we sit here and not pretend that, like, can we not pretend like that was going to work? Please. Please, guys, the Dems, don't do this to yourselves. Y'all knew damn well that wasn't gonna work. You knew he was walking into pretty much, honestly, he was walking into the middle finger at that point. He was 1.5 trillion. Like, boy, man, try that somewhere else. Well, wait till y'all get back in office. If it ever happens again.
President Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth addressing the top military brass gathered in Quantico, Virginia. Hegseth dropping a nuke on woke standards and telling troops to drop down and give them 20.
Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O.
And to be quite honest, now I know a lot of people are saying that they want to give it to illegals and all that good stuff, but I just think that's just right wing. That's just how, well, Fox News and the right wing is spinning it. It's for illegals. 1.5 trillion for illegals? I doubt it. I doubt we're spending that much. I mean, even during Biden, I doubt we were doing that much in healthcare spending. What this is really about is that, like I said, the Democrat is ran by NGO and corporate interests. They have been infiltrated by NGOs and corporate interests. Trump is trying to come after big pharma. I mean, come on now. One of the main reasons why we're trying to cut this healthcare spending is so we don't give so much to big pharma, so we can negotiate better with a tighter budget. Like that's how Australia does it. And look how well that's working out for them. We're trying to peep sauce here. We're low-key trying to take notes from Australia, because let's be real. If we have such a big budget, this which leads to retarded spending. Excuse me, because that's just me being irritated about the subject. This would lead to reckless spending. This would lead to pharmaceutical companies taking advantage of us because we have such a bloated budget. So yeah, all they're really protecting is corporate interests. And you all know big pharma money is run all through the Democratic Party. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, excuse me, I had a truth cough.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change.
Trust me, it ain't about illegals. I really do think, in my personal opinion, it's about corporate interest.
No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. We are done with that. The era of unprofessional appearance is over. No more beardos. It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
President Trump following Secretary Pete's speech.
I mean, yeah, can you imagine like a fat overweight guy tell you to drop and give me 20? He's like, bro, can you do that? Can you do it? Like, before you tell me, let's show me something, my friend. Don't yell at me and tell me to give you 20 if you looking like you can't even give me 10.
An hour-long speech, letting the brass know that he has their backs.
Together, we're reawakening the warrior spirit, and this is a spirit that won and built this nation. And we're a team, and so my message to you is very simple. I am with you. I support you. And as president, I have your backs 100%. You'll never see me even waver a little bit. Over the next few years, we're going to make our military stronger, tougher, faster, fiercer, and more powerful than it has ever been before. We have beautiful paper, the gorgeous paper. I said, throw a little more gold on it. They deserve it. I want the A paper, not the D paper. We used to sign a piece of garbage. I said, this man's going to be a general, right? Yeah. I don't want to use this. I want to use the big, beautiful, firm paper. America is respected again as a country. We were not respected with Biden. They looked at him falling downstairs every day. Every day, the guy's falling downstairs. One thing with Obama, I had zero respect for him as a president, but he would bop down those stairs. I've never said, da-da-da-da-da-da, pop, pop, pop. He'd go down the stairs, wouldn't hold on. I said, it's great. I don't want to do it. I guess I could do it, but eventually bad things are going to happen.
And the reviews are in from the ladies of The View. And Joy
Man.
Behar wasn't a fan of.
Now I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people lost their ish over it. I think there was this one army lady, well, military lady. She was like, well, the standard shouldn't matter if I could deadlift 130 pounds, bro. When I heard that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, we are lost. I mean, and she was in the military saying that. She's ex-military saying that, or removed herself from the military saying that. I was like low-key amazed. I'm like, lady, 130 deadlift is not even crazy for a woman to do, quite honestly. Now, 230, 330, all right, man, all right, I can see where you might have some complications. But 130, you can't deadlift 130. Come on now. That's ridiculous. Like, she literally said, oh, well, me getting in shouldn't matter if I can deadlift 130. I'm like, I hope she was playing when she said that. But she sounded oh so serious.
War on fat generals.
Why is he obsessed with fat? I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for.
No, bro, because there shouldn't be fat people in our army at all. Honestly, to be quite honest, I mean, fat people really shouldn't exist, period. But hey, you know, people's health, laziness, I mean, overeating, you know, we got fat people. Like, majority of fat people, 95% of them can control, you know, being fat. So really, fat people, honestly, really shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing that we should just accept. I do believe in we should be nice to them, but sit there and just, you know, pat them on the head for being a glutton. No.
For our military.
He was referring to Colonel Sanders.
It was really a bizarre thing. I don't understand the sort of hypocrisy of firing these people, having all these people meet together, and then denigrating them.
All right, so going into this, Dana, the mainstream media was freaking out. Why is he doing this? What's going on? And now you see what happened today. What happened?
Well, even this morning, there was an NPR report that said, well, this is reminiscent of 1935, I think, when Hitler brought all the generals together, and they just basically the cat ran away with the spoon, and they a little bit lost their minds. So when it comes to The View, but frankly, this speech, that she wasn't the targeted audience. The target audience was the people in the room. Now they open it up to the media so that everybody could see it. We live in a television world. That makes sense to me. But even I wasn't the audience. The audience were the people that they brought in. And I, for one, am all for a more aggressive posture for Department of War. I'm actually okay calling it the Department of War. I like being on a more aggressive standing. I think that what the president said about "I have your backs" was the basic military principle that maybe they didn't feel like they needed to hear it, but everybody was in the room. Everybody heard the same thing. So nobody can go away and say, I think we're supposed to do climate change stuff now. No, everybody got the same message all at the same time. I did think that one of the things that might have been great for the president and for the generals and the secretary would have been for there to be maybe a shorter speech on the president's side, but a longer photo line where he could shake everybody's hand, get a picture, and have that personal touch.
Did he do the
That's
photo
very
line?
good. I don't think so. I think he left right after that.
Okay. Greg
Gone.
Gutfeld.
Yes.
Were you inspired by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth?
Very confused. Dana, what does FAFO stand for?
I need to.
No, bro.
I have to direct message.
Just the first
Mug
part.
just to ask.
Okay, all right. I was just quite. The attack on beer.
I mean, Gutfield, come on. You know what F around. You know what FAFO means. Like, we all know. Like, come on now, guys. Shout out to Shout out to FAFO because.
See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
I mean, broken down so simply. It's like so easy to understand. It's like, come on now.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it. I feel it. I can, he's cooking.
Was just a mean slight on Cory Booker. I don't understand. It's not surprising that The View does not understand how important fitness is, especially to self-defense. You know, their only threats are flatulence and heartburn. Their only enemy is carbs, and they're getting their butts kicked. I was sitting, you know, listening to this, and I kept thinking about how I used to see our nation's enemies when I grew up. I grew up during the Cold War, so it was Russia. I was here at 9/11, so it was Islamism. Those were the two. But today, like, I don't like feel like there's an evil axis. I get that we can't trust Russia, we can't trust China, we can't trust Iran, but they don't fill me with apocalyptic fear. And I think it's because I feel like it's from within. And I think they understood that there was a pernicious, determined ideology that saw virtue in our weakness and viewed strength as oppressive. That was the wokeism. And people think that being against woke is just minor. No, it was a big deal. I always felt that what was destroying our country was within. They understand that. If you look at the last, I don't know, 5 years or whatever, appointing a cross-dressing luggage thief to oversee nuclear waste and a delusional Admiral Mann as Assistant Secretary of Human Health and Services, is that right?
Yep.
Who fashions himself a female.
Yeah, okay. It was Assistant Health and Human Service Secretary. That was a transgender woman. Basically a man wearing a wig, and they was overweight as well. I mean, trust me, we got a huge upgrade with RFK Jr. And I mean, let's be real. If you don't think so, you're honestly being delusional. We had a transgender woman who was fat. Come on now. We definitely got an upgrade.
Revealed priorities
be fair.
that were beneficial to our enemies. They love seeing that stuff. When we opened investigation into the politics of our troops to weed out perceived white supremacy, our enemies must have liked that too, because we're taking our eye off the ball. When we mandated curriculum that dictated that our country's values are indefensible, that they might be racist or oppressive, I mean, that is amazing for people who hate us. Our enemies must have loved that. So I guess when I see this, is you're seeing solid leadership standing up to this suicidal snowball that's coming down, that was to an impending implosive defeat. And our global competitors who do not have this suicidal empathy, they don't even have to lift a weapon. We destroy ourselves. I mean, identity politics is the key and was the key to our own destruction. So I feel like this is progress in a big way. It's not about China or Russia or Iran. It's about us.
Harold Ford, do you take issue with anything your colleague Greg has said?
I just have a slightly different opinion. First of all, I feel like I've been gone for a month. It's good to see everybody.
Good to
It's
see
good
you
to be back. Couple things. And I don't like differing with my pal DP either. But a couple things I go. First off,
brace yourself, America.
I tread carefully. I didn't like the televised part of this because it reminded me of something that might happen in China or North Korea. I didn't mind Secretary Hegseth, whom I know and consider a friend, doing what he did. But I have to say, if I were an adversary of the United States, and obviously I'm not, but if I was watching this, I'm not convinced that I would be more fearful of the United States, or for that matter, wanting to be more like them. Number two, I don't like the Department of War moniker now. I think it should be called the Department of Deterrence. President Trump is the first president in my lifetime, I'm 55, who openly talks about not wanting war, wanting to end wars, wanting to get people out of war. Even when they're not Americans shedding blood, he has shown a compassion verbally for, and I think sincerely, on behalf of the Ukrainians and the Russians. Greg, you're right. In a lot of ways, I grew up, you're just a few years older than me, but I grew up the same way with Russia and then the axis of evil that your boss talked about so eloquently, Dana. I think the challenge we face now is one that has evolved. We still face a military threat from China, and I think we face an economic threat from China. And I think technology, to me, is the great kind of equalizer in some ways. As we watch the threat we face from radical Islam in the 2000s, we saw the rise of non-nation state actors. And the non-nation state actors today are ones that have great engineers and people who can hack into systems and can undermine and upend the way lives are lived, and for that matter, anywhere in the world.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
How do you fight those threats when you're fighting yourself?
So I think every generation has had an opportunity or has had that threat where they've had to fight from within. You can look back in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. From the 20s, when you had basically inside America, it was very, very rich people who, frankly, That's how unions got started. And frankly, where I'm from in the South, we didn't have electricity. So we had to have a president create the TVA and do all these things. So we've always had these things, and it may be more prominent today. I don't disagree with your things about DI and some of the challenges, but I look at it differently. And I just wish and hope that both the president and Secretary Hegseth, I'm sure they understand, the men and women in that room today, they're the most important, the most experienced commanders in all of the world. They have seen more combat, managed and successfully managed through more crises than anybody, I would argue, in American business, education, media, and certainly the military. I hope at some point we're able to give those men and women in that room our plans to win in Ukraine, our plans to resolve the matters in the Middle East, and for that matter, what we're going to...
I mean, resolve matters in the Middle East, of course, but to win Ukraine, I mean, bro, unless you're trying to get into World War III, you might want to step back on that one.
To do going forward to ensure that, Greg, that what you said turns out to be right, that my kids and your kids and all of our kids don't have to think about the kind of axis of evil and challenges that we face. They probably will. It will be different. But I think the moment we face today, China is the thing that concerns me.
I'm more scared of what I see in our cities, radicals, the revolutionaries on campuses, the people who call us fascists and Hitler, who kill our leaders here. North Korea didn't kill Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Well,
and I would say,
I
look,
think the technology and all that
the
stuff-
generals in that room, the military personnel in that room saw the weakness and fecklessness of President Joe Biden. They saw someone who let Afghanistan fall. I still have questions as to what happened in the Situation Room. Was he fully there? Was he fully
Apparently, we're trying to get back into Afghanistan, allegedly.
with it as he was making these grievous national security decisions?
Actually, I think we actually
They saw a
are.
commander-in-chief that said don't, and then they saw a Russian adversary
I
that
read
did in
something on
Ukraine. Saw someone who said don't, and then they saw that Hamas did in Israel. They saw weakness. And then they see President Trump, and they saw a guy who took out 4 generals. They saw a guy who acted, who's made peace in 7 conflicts, who's on the verge of a Gaza peace deal. And I think they're relieved to have this guy back as a true commander-in-chief. Look, I remember in 2021, the Russians put out their military ad. To hell with limits, they said. There's no victory without battles. We put out our ad for the military recruitment video. I was raised by 2 moms. I marched for equality. I'm sorry. What do you respect? What does the adversary respect? They respect the strength of President Trump. And the message he sent, I agree with you, Dana, is so important when he said, I am with you, I support you, I have your backs 110%. I remember going to Fort Bragg with President Trump when I was press secretary. And the guys there were like, you have such a tough job as press secretary. I'm like, no, you have the toughest job. Exactly. And I said, and I think of you guys when I land in the Osprey and the things that you have gone into. And I said, you've got to be nervous. And they said, no, we are ready for it. We want the green light from President Trump. They want the green light because they have a commander-in-chief.
I don't know. People are worried about the world message. I'm good with the world message. The world message said that, yo, we still got the strongest military in the world, and we're about to make it stronger. So watch out. And, you know, let's go ahead and get into the funny clip of the night. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the left side of media with AOC's thoughts on the government shutdown. That should be a fun one. Shout out to my man, was it Sheriff Jude? I like this guy.
There's things in life you just can't believe. So you order up a prostitute, right? This prostitute lives with his mother, by the way.
Okay.
He's got a massive criminal history, a 21-year criminal history with 31 criminal charges. So you order up a prostitute, and that's what you think you're getting. Now, when you look at that, you go, wow, that's pretty rough, but, you know, any port in a storm. And then the next morning when you wake up, you find out this is who it really is. Yeah.
Like,
we call that.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Coyote ugly. You see, yeah, we call that coyote ugly. You see, he's laying on your arm in bed. You go, well, it was rough last night, but I've sobered up. I think I'll just chew my arm off and ease away so I don't disturb him or wake him up.
Bro, this guy's funny.
All right, so you think you're buying this, you're getting this. He's got 31 criminal charges, and heck, if you're lucky, he doesn't kill you overnight.
I mean, I like Jude. I mean, bro, this is also pretty damn funny. Like, I got their drip. But bro, let's check this out, bro. This guy is a legend.
I got their drip.
He got the drip.
I got their body. We got their. We got these guys at the top. Sold the 65-year-old lady.
Walker. Bro, he got the
Is
chain
the
on.
person that sold our 65-year-old victim. She bought these.
He took a fentanyl dealer's chain and wore it. I mean, he got the drip. He got the drip. He got their drip. But all right, guys, let's get right back into it. Let's start off on the left side of media with AOC's thoughts on the government shutdown.
Since the last time Donald Trump was president. A new poll by NPR, PBS, and Marist shows that if the government does shut down tonight, which we fully expect, Americans would blame Republicans more than Democrats, with 38% of respondents blaming Republicans, 27% blaming Democrats, and
shout out to my man Jay. All 50 states need themselves a share of Grundy Judd. Yeah, bro. I swear everybody needs them a Judd. That man is cold-blooded, bro. Cold-blooded. I mean, every criminal is afraid of Judd in his county. Shoot, people in the county over are afraid of this man. Yeah, like we need to like damn near clone him and give him to almost every. You know what? F the National Guard. We just need more Judds out there. Yeah, that's all we need. We just need more Sheriff Judds. That's what we need in the world. Well, in the U.S.
31% blaming both parties. Meanwhile, the president today said from the Oval Office that Democrats are to blame, warned that he would use a shutdown to his political advantage.
A lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat in New York. She's executive board member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and she joins me now. Congresswoman, it does look like we are headed towards a shutdown. What do you see as the Democratic strategy and message here for a government funding bill?
I mean, Chris, we're here to help people. We are here in the midst of this
here to help people by shutting down the government. Hilarious.
Destruction of the federal government, the federal safety net, $1 trillion eviscerated from people's health care, their Medicare, their Medicaid in this country, with prices that are skyrocketing and life becoming completely untenable for the American people. We are here to try to be a backstop and to be that backstop, which is what the American people have elected us to do.
So right now there's this sort of back and forth about the ACA tax credits. And there's kind of a strange dynamic that I want to get your sense of, right? Because at one level, negotiating over the ACA tax credits is important. I mean, there are people who are going to see their premiums go up 15, 20%, like huge amounts are going to spike. Republicans don't like these extenders. Democrats do. They think it's good for people. But that's fully in the lane of like normal politics. And then at the same time, like the president of the United States assembled 800 military commanders to say, I want you, you're going to have to go to war against your fellow citizens.
So y'all shut down the government, making things worse on the healthcare system so you can avoid increased premiums. Now, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but maybe y'all should have let the increased premiums happen so you can sit there and poke fun at Trump, be like, see, look, we told you this was going to happen. See, this is why you need to go ahead and listen to us. You guys could have made a case for yourselves. Instead, you made the case against y'all. It's like, do y'all understand how y'all shoot yourselves in the foot, Dems? Y'all should have literally sat there. If that was going to happen, y'all should have sat there and let it happen. I'm be honest with you. You should, right? Voting have consequences, right? So, yes, you should have let those healthcare premiums went up, which I doubt would have happened. But you guys shutting down the government, so what? Oh, so they wouldn't happen? No, I'm be honest with you. Now it's going to be 10 times worse because the problem still hasn't been solved, plus government shutdown. Really? I mean, come on. Did you really accomplish that much? No.
Citizens in American cities. And I think people are having a little bit of a hard time of like, we're going to have a fight on the shutdown about the tax credits, but not about the president wants to declare war on Americans, even though I understand those two are conceptually distinct. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, Chris, but I think that's something for us to really set the record straight here on. This is not a fight over tax credits. This is a fight over your ability to go to a pharmacy and afford your insulin. We're not talking about just...
How do you dare say that when this man is literally making these pharmaceutical companies start charging us most favored nation prices? He already handled that. Right, if y'all would listen to this man, you would understand that he already handled what you guys are crying about. Like, actually, he talked about it today, and we'll get into that tomorrow because he had all of his healthcare guys come out and pretty much speak up about, yeah, we get what you guys are saying. We're on top of it. Like, and they already were. He already was talking about, yo, it's 100% tariff on pharmaceutical companies who don't build inside of here, who don't give us most favored nation pricing. He's already on top of that. What you guys are doing it's unnecessary if that's truly your argument.
15 or 20% increases in people's premiums. Tomorrow, healthcare companies, and today, healthcare companies are finalizing the premiums that everyday Americans are going to be paying. And we are talking about a doubling of monthly healthcare premiums. Not even
you let the government shut down. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, you could have proved Trump's plan was bad by letting those premiums double and then be like, see, look, we told you guys this what happens when you don't listen to Dems. That could have been y'all. But now y'all over here looking stupid.
Including your
because they knew it wasn't going to happen. And he's got to feed you guys a lie so you guys can run along with them.
Deductible in terms of what people are going to be paying next year because of $1 trillion in Medicaid cuts that were put together earlier this year. And I don't know about anybody else, but I do not think that this is just about a tax break or a small tax extender. This is about fighting not just on tax breaks, community health centers, and ensuring that we have a stability of the American healthcare system. And when Republicans use a legislative mechanism to gut the American healthcare system, we have to use a legislative mechanism in order to restore it and to fight for it. Because at the end of the day, you know, people may talk about tax credits this and tax credits that. What they do understand is when you have insulin and you can't afford it. What they do understand is when your kid has chemotherapy.
Like Lincoln, I hear your point, dog. Like, trust me. But like I said, you guys love to say voting has consequences, right? Well, let us see the error of our ways instead of shutting down the whole government, which is going to make everything worse. Like, you kind of get my argument, right? Like, I'm not even saying that, oh, they're lying. Actually, I am saying that they're lying, but I'm not even going to harp on them like that and say, oh, these guys are trying to mislead you about that. I'm like, oh, well, if you guys were so confident that was going to happen and you guys been, honestly, they've been betting on the failure of the stock market. They were betting on the failure of the tariffs that never happened. So now they're also betting on high premiums. But instead of just letting those slide by so they can win something on Trump, because think about it, at this point, it got to be about politics because it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. And now if it does, it's 10 times worse with a government shutdown. They done made the problem that they're crying about worse. Like, I don't even know how you defend that.
Or your spouse gets diagnosed with cancer and you go into a hospital and it doesn't get covered. And you have to choose.
And here's the thing. I truly don't believe that it was going to increase premiums. I just think they're lying to come up with an excuse.
Life and death, what this is about. Now, that does not mean that we ignore the abhorrent violation of law and norms and what is happening with our U.S. cities, but we have a broad spectrum of ways and places that we can fight, including our governors, our attorney generals, and our state and municipal leaders, as you just saw.
So I just want to make sure I understand this just from your perspective here. So, and I think this is generally the view of congressional leadership as well. You can correct me if I'm wrong. If there was bipartisan compromise, right? If everyone came together, the leaders of the parties, the president, and said, yes, these 5 things, we're going to make sure that these premium supports keep going. We're going to fund community health centers, whatever the sort of asks on appropriation around people's affordable health care. If those were met, Democrats would be a yes. Like, that is the box that this is happening in, as opposed to we can't fund a Department of Justice that prosecutes political enemies or whatever else might be out there.
Well, let me tell you, Chris, the mechanism by which that deal is locked is not just about agreeing in concept on tax credits. We need to do it with no tricks, no games, and no backdoors.
And here's the thing, y'all, we have low prices. Our premiums are actually kind of good. I've actually been shopping recently, but that's what I'm saying. So when they're talking about healthcare premiums, I'm like, no, healthcare premiums are actually the same. If you're saying that they were going to happen in 2 weeks, and then you shut down the government, does that really help their point? And the thing is, bro, they're fear mongering on something that hasn't happened. So we don't know if it was going to happen or not. You don't know at all. If you're sitting there as a Dem saying, oh, I knew they were going to increase. No, you don't, because you were the same one saying that we're going to have crazy inflation and the market was going to crash over tariffs. And that didn't happen. So obviously you're not as informed as you think you are. So are you going to sit here with full faith and tell me that you know that the insurance agencies or the healthcare agency was going to start raising their premiums? No, you don't. And neither do they.
Includes rescissions. And when we talk about rescissions, that is the mechanism that the federal government is using to gut and destroy rule of law across the board. So we are fighting to ensure that healthcare is protected for every American. But the way that we do that also means that the only way that you guarantee that is by forcing them to adhere to the rule of law, which means eliminating the rescission loopholes that they put in the CR earlier this year, which the Senate unfortunately had caved on then, and we're ensuring that doesn't happen now.
Yeah, the quick 10-second version for people that have.
They're going to shut down the government. Like I said, it's a bad position they're in. Now y'all got to sit there and fearmonger and tell American people about premiums that never rose, that were fearmongering that were going to rise if we didn't get this funding. Really? Your premiums are going to rise if didn't stuff more spending into healthcare. Y'all hear yourselves right now? Like, don't really think about what she's saying. Your premium private insurance were going to rise because they didn't put more money into healthcare. That's supposed to be pretty much to, I guess, support people. Is anybody else, making that connection right now on how what she says is not really making sense?
And follow this is that, you need 60 votes to get the filibuster to appropriate funds for the government, but they can pass a rescission, which is to claw back some of the money already agreed to by 50 votes. So they have this kind of like cake and eat it too model where it's like, oh yeah, we'll come together, we'll pass a bipartisan appropriations bill. And then when everyone.
No, coming together would be like, all right, Trump, $930 billion. Can you at least, I don't know, instead of cutting 930, what about 730 billion? What about you save everybody $2 billion? Coming in there and be like, no, Trump, F what you talking about. We want 1.5 trillion in spending. Yeah, they knew they were going to get a no. Therefore, they knew they were going to force a government shutdown. And here's the thing. They only did this to slow down Trump. And because they know that I'll be honest with you. The people who believe these guys are, easily fooled. So they're going to listen to them. They're going to try to blame Trump. And here's the thing. Just say this to them. When Trump shut down the government, didn't he at least have the balls to sit there and say, yo, you can blame this on me because I want my border wall. I'm willing to shut down the government. He took ownership of that as a demanding party. Man was demanding a wall and it didn't happen. These guys are demanding $1.5 trillion and they're shutting down the government because of it. Please be consistent in y'all assessment of these people's character, because you got mad about Trump for doing that. Great. Keep that same attitude here.
When we've done that, then we'll go and get rid of the stuff we don't like, which just seems like an insane way to negotiate.
It's no way to negotiate. And again, we don't even have to get into the technicalities of this. But what is important to understand is that the way that you honor an agreement and the way that we honor our fight for healthcare and to define and to also protect everyday Americans' ability to afford their healthcare, to cover their kids, to defend Medicaid. Those are the
healthcare and Social Security was our biggest expenditure in July. People are getting their healthcare, sweetheart. That's the problem. People are getting their healthcare, they're getting their Social Security. Like, it's all good. You guys are just wanting to overspend for some reason. But let's go to the hypocrisy of the left, because shout out to Trump for posting this video. Live.
And in a democracy, hostage tactics are the last resort for those who can't win their fights through elections, can't win their fights in Congress, can't win their fights for the presidency, and can't win their fights in the courts.
A government shutdown of any duration would harm hardworking Americans and our economy.
Why should we ask TSA officers to go without their hard-earned pay while they protect our airports?
I'm a senator from Virginia. Some of the hardest effects of shutdown will be seen in my state.
If the government
and see, this is why they're trying to push it off on the Republicans, because they know damn well what they're doing. They know damn well who they're hurting. But if they can just trick you guys who are Democratic voters, they could trick you guys into thinking that, oh, this is the Republicans' fault. They can skirt away and take zero accountability for their actions. And that's the problem with you guys. I'm talking about my Dems. You guys let y'all party get off with no accountability. And the few that do hold them accountable, kudos to y'all. But sadly, there ain't enough of y'all.
When it shuts down, it will be average Americans who suffer most.
Some who right now are trying to figure out how they're going to pay rent, how they're going to make mortgage payments, how they're going to keep college payments going, how they're going to keep the lights on, how they're going to keep food on the table.
Had the government shut down, hundreds of thousands of people would have not gotten their paychecks. Federal employees would have been furloughed, sent home.
Our military won't get paid. Head Start teachers won't get paid. Our wildfire fighters won't get paid. Federal prison guards won't get paid.
A government shutdown means seniors who rely on Social Security could be thrown into chaos. Our veterans could see regional VA offices shut down and support services put on hold.
Shutdowns are not good for the economy.
Shutdowns cost taxpayers billions of dollars per week.
Shutdowns cost the economy billions of dollars.
They cost businesses money.
I know, right? But here's the thing, though. That's a typical Dem. I mean, bro, they want to cost the American people billions of dollars, and then they also want to spend 1.5 trillion in healthcare. Oh my God! I mean, shoot, maybe we could have approved that 1.5 trillion dollars. But right now, we're too busy losing money because the government shut down. Thanks a lot, Dems.
They could even cause a downgrade to the nation's credit rating.
Families who benefit from WIC and other nutrition programs could see benefits halted.
If this shutdown continues indefinitely, 39 million Americans will risk not having enough food. They will lose their SNAP benefits in February. So that means American children will be going to bed hungry. It's unacceptable.
The longer that this shutdown goes on, the more Americans it will be affected.
Critical services and our economy are being threatened with poison pill partisanship. Shutting down the government should not be a negotiating tactic.
Hostage taking is all they have left. A last gasp of those who cannot cope with the realities of our democracy.
Man, shout out President Trump. I mean, like I said, y'all do it to yourselves. After all that preaching, y'all come out and do this. And remember, I think this was when Trump was the one closing it, and Schumer was out there saying that because, like I said, Trump was the demanding party. At least he took accountability, though. Like I said, and I didn't even approve of what Trump was doing. I'm like, you're holding up the government over the wall. I was upset with Trump about that. So at least I'm being consistent in saying that, yo, you guys shouldn't be shutting down the government over this, and the demanding party should take responsibility.
Same mechanisms that we use to defend our rule of law, to defend the federal workers that we are trying to protect in this shutdown. You know, Donald Trump is trying to play this bluffing game of, well, maybe what we're going to do is hold all the federal workforce hostage and fire everybody. Donald Trump has been firing everybody. We saw this with Doge. We've seen this at the State Department. We've seen this.
And more people are going to get fired now. Now they're really going to F with you, AOC, because now they're saying that, yeah, well, guess what? We're going to start cutting off all the little NGOs y'all like, all those little wasteful funds. All those wasteful experiments y'all like to fund, those are dead. NGOs dead. Oh yeah, all your favorite government employees fired because y'all wanted y'all government shutdown to spite Trump. Now Trump gets to spite y'all. Way to set yourself up.
At the Department of Justice, they are firing everybody.
To be honest, I wouldn't even agree with it. I don't even agree with Trump doing that type of get back with them. But I mean, when you put yourself in that position, I can't feel that bad for you.
They are completely eliminating the federal workforce. And in order for us to stop this madness, we have to put a stop to it. And we have to stop enabling their abuse of power, including their use of rescissions. And when we're fighting on their health care, it forces them to act in ways in accordance with the law in other ways, too.
Let me ask you this. There are some people I have seen who have the following theory of why Senate Democrats have not cut a deal where they give 8 votes and move along. And that is that Chuck Schumer is worried about a primary challenge from you and is worried about the politics to his left flank. And so because of that worry about a primary challenge, he's going to shut down the government. Ergo, it is AOC's fault that the government's shutting down, or that you're somehow the kind of fulcrum of this. And I want to just ask you straight up, like, are you planning to primary challenge him? Do you think that's why he's doing this?
This is so not about me in this moment. This is about people being able to insure their children. And I will say,
how they're gonna, I mean, like I said, AOC, I hear you, but the government shutdown, that kind of hinders those services that you're talking about. So you even understand that there's a better way to do this. I mean, we just heard a recording of you doing it, saying that. So you know there's a better way to do this. You know that there's going to be effect to the same people that you say you're trying to protect, but you're out here on mainstream media literally trying to scapegoat for the Dems. Crazy, man, crazy. And yes, he is going to try to primary Schumer.
because I saw some senators speculating about this, and I saw some Republican members of Congress saying, oh, well, if we have this shutdown, it's because of AOC. Well, if that's the case, my office is open and you are free to walk in and negotiate with me directly. Because what I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance. That's what's not going to happen. And so if those senators think that we're having a shutdown because of me, they're free to enter my office and negotiate, because what we're not going to do is allow all of millions of people in this country to not be able to afford their insulin and their chemotherapy. So come strike a deal with me if that's what they really think is going on.
There is, over the last week, it seems a lot of people, and I include myself among them, feel like a sort of rising sense of alarm about the aggressiveness of the sort of authoritarian aspirations of this government, essentially firing a U.S. attorney to replace him with a patsy who will indict a political enemy. The continued threat of using the military on American citizens, the ordering the troops to Portland and then backing up because it was 5-year-old B-roll. I don't know. Do you feel the same way over this last week or two? Does it feel like continuity to you? Are there conversations in your caucus about what this last week has meant?
Actually, you know, it's so funny. Speaking of Portland, shout out to PBD and them. They had a very wild video when it came to sending the National Guard to Portland, because you know what? Apparently the people of Portland has been begging for it, just like the people of Chicago. I mean, shoot, if you're not a criminal if you're not a criminal, I mean, let's be real. You want this. You want the National Guard in there. If you're a criminal, then you want the National Guard to stay away, because then your gang days are over. But hey, though, for some reason, Dems want to promote crime. Not all of them, but a decent amount of them. At least the ones that run these high crime cities, which is mostly, all Dems run high crime cities, sadly.
I wanted to get into is Portland first. Okay, so if you want to pull up a clip.
And shout out to my man Jet. He said, miss some Rumble rants, by the way. Percentage do they take? And yeah, what percentage do they take? I think it's like honestly, I think it's like a 90-10. They kind of got that kick thing going on for them. So shout out Rumble for not taking majority of the super chats like my peoples over here at YouTube. 30%, y'all crazy. But it is what it is. And shout out to my man Maine with the Rumble rant. He said, a $1 Rumble rant. And yes, guys, you want to go ahead and save on super chatting? Go to Rumble, send a rant in for $1, and you can get it read out. But shout out to my man Maine. He says, hey, wait, Texas didn't shut down. What the hell, man? I mean, wait, shut down what? Government?
Trump says he is ordering troops.
Oh, and shout out Jet. He says, showing some love on the Rumble side as well. I nominate Sheriff. Yeah. Bro, me too. I definitely nominate Sheriff Grandy for the Trans-Tifa Task Force. Trans-Tifa stand for Gruddy. My bad, Gruddy. But yes, I also nominate my man for the Trans-Tifa Task Force as well. I would like to also be a dispatcher, because I know where all of they are at. I got the drip. I was like, nah, shout out my man.
To Portland.
I got their locations. Each one of those Trans-Tifas.
Escalating domestic use of military. This is a Wall Street Journal story. By the way, things in Portland are absolutely mind-boggling. The local citizens are begging, saying, can you please come? These are some people that didn't vote for Trump. These are some people that don't like Trump. They may have not voted him. They wanted Kamala, but they're like, listen, enough is enough. This is getting out of control. Rob, do you want to play this clip just to kind of give a glimpse to people what's going on over there?
Night after night, this is the scene.
This is Portland.
Outside the ICE facility.
This is not a third world country. This is not
Residents live in
Afghanistan.
apartments just feet
God
away.
damn.
They routinely call police about the noise and crime.
I'm calling about the protesters. They cornered 2 women out here. They need help. Please send the cops.
But the cops did not come.
women.
Residents on their own.
Turn that down. It's midnight. We the people need sleep.
This
You
week,
voted for
protesters
Kamala.
brought what
Yep.
looked like a guillotine.
You
Some
voted for this.
confrontations end with residents getting
What
assaulted.
the fuck? Whoa, whoa! What type of shit going on? You got a whole guillotine? Where the fuck y'all get a guillotine at? Hey, bro, somebody went back in time and grabbed the guillotine. That's crazy. And that's a wild ass threat to make to ICE officers, by the way.
We the people need sleep.
This
You
week,
voted for
protesters
Kamala.
brought what looked like a guillotine.
You
Some
voted for this.
confrontations end with
Wild.
residents getting assaulted. First a bullhorn, then a fist. No arrest was made despite the injuries. On this night in late June, federal police used tear gas and flashbangs. Again, no Portland police in sight. It came out later in court that one officer told another, if it were not ICE, we could assist directly. Julie Parrish sued the city to force police to enforce local laws.
This is a full-on abdication of police duty in a 4-block radius that impacts some of the most vulnerable Oregonians that we have. Now they've said, meh, we're just going to let violent
Why do you
rioters
think?
do this for 80 straight
Hey, defund the police, right?
nights, and we don't care.
Portland police responded, we take these concerns seriously. At the same time, we are committed to protecting individuals' rights to express themselves peacefully.
The Portland approach is pathetic. It's childish. And if you enable people to behave the way the protesters have and wreck the neighborhood for everyone else, they will come back and wreck it the next night.
The protest chaos, which began with riots aimed at social justice in
I'll be real with you, man. When high crime areas, you can't call for a noise complaint. I mean, bro, you call, bro. If you living in the hood or the projects, you calling about a noise complaint, the cops are really probably gonna laugh at you in the background and just be like, bro, hang the phone up on that guy. Noise complaint in the hood, hilarious. Go, why don't you try moving out? Like
2020 has severely damaged Portland's reputation. It's now
Rob, you
ranked
can
by the
pause that right there. By the way, weren't you guys the same people that were saying defund the police?
Yeah.
Weren't you guys the same people that wanted that Chaz City and Trump sucks and we want him out, no kings, we want everything to be free. And now you're complaining? Yeah, these are your policies. You voted for these policies. You chose these policies. These are the leaders you chose that are okay with this, that are managing these policies the way that they are. President Trump said that he was directing the Pentagon to send troops to Portland to protect federal facilities, escalating his push to deploy the military in the U.S. cities.
I mean, when you're pulling out guillotine in front of ICE facilities, I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all are getting a bit out of hand in Portland. Like, whatever y'all got going on out there, tell y'all radical liberals to chill, or maybe y'all just ran by radical liberals. I mean, you never know. God forbid. All right, back to AOC.
I think there's two things that are happening at once, and this is something that's very important for people to understand. One, there absolutely is an unprecedented abuse of power, destruction of norms, erosion of our government and our democracy in order to prop up an authoritarian style of governance. That is happening. However, they are weaker than they look. And it is important that we remember that, because what they rely on is the impression of power, the perception of inevitability, in us giving up in advance to say, oh, what's going to happen if I stand up, etc. Nothing's going to happen. They rely on that perception of an.
No, come on now. Y'all knew what y'all was going to happen. The government's going to shut down, and all the people y'all claim y'all want to protect, y'all going to go ahead and put at risk. There you go.
Inevitability and power, so that people can cry in advance and acquiesce in advance and give up in advance. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump is at record levels of unpopularity in his tenure. The Republican House is at record levels of unpopularity.
Sweetheart, who you asking? Because if you asking Dems, then I mean, well, they're gonna say that. But I mean, if you ask the Trump supporters or people who voted for Trump, I mean, we voted for this, to be quite honest with you, sweetheart. So I don't know why you're mad. I mean, look, you can sit there, you can get upset all day and try to talk about Trump's approval ratings, but I mean, you guys get your approval ratings from, well, left-wing, I mean, real with you, left-wing polling. I remember y'all literally try to say Trump had bad approval ratings over CBS polling, CNN polling. I was like, bro, who mainly goes there? Like, if y'all want to ask us, if I want to ask MAGA how they feel, just ask us. There's better ways to do it than just going on CNN and creating a poll, or going to CBS and creating a poll and thinking that you're going to get thinking that you're going to get the opinion of the American people, or at least the right, because y'all know y'all not getting that.
Are underwater across the board, and they know it. And that is causing them to double down in public, but it is backfiring. That is why, whether it's a shutdown, whether it's all of this, they want us to blink first. And we have too much to save. Protecting people is too important a task for us to give up before anything even starts. So they may want to send people in, but these National Guardsmen do not want to be turned against their fellow Americans. We're seeing this here in Washington, D.C. It is an insult. Donald Trump is insulting the service members of this country by putting them on these silly tasks that they themselves do not want to be enforcing. And so we have to understand that standing up matters, that our voice matters.
Well, they signed up to protect American people, foreign and domestic. All threats, foreign and domestic. So you guys want to talk about, they're only meant to solve foreign problems. No. I mean, if we were ever attacked on our homeland, or let's say a terrorist cell rises up out of nowhere and start attacking people, wouldn't you want the military to take care of that? Or, no, Seth, they're only supposed to handle stuff. They're only supposed to handle foreign stuff. So they got to leave us alone to get tortured by the terrorists, Seth. Really? That's what you're thinking?
To not give in to this cynicism. Because
and shout out to my man, Dr. Luke the Goat. AOC is telling on herself and her own party. It's the exact opposite of what she is saying. I mean, exactly.
That is what they
Shout out to my
rely
man, Dr.
on
Luke.
in order to perpetuate this idea that they are that they have total immunity from consequence. They will experience the consequences of this, but we have to be the consequence.
No. The American people will experience a consequence. We'll lose more money, even though, and here's the thing, y'all wanted to spend more money, but now y'all let the government shut down. Now we're going to lose money. I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense, God damn it. Actually, y'all was talking about increased spending, crying about increased spending, and then y'all come back wanting $1.5 trillion in new spending. Bro, like, come on, man. You can't play both sides like this. And I don't even know how the Dems let y'all play both sides like this.
Which is why we have to stand tall right now, alongside everyday Americans who want us to be standing up right now as well.
Final question for you is about a ruling that came from a federal district judge who's been on the bench for decades and who was appointed by Ronald Reagan. It's in the case of Ramesa Ozturk and a few other individuals whose alleged that their free speech, First Amendment rights as protected by the Constitution were violated by ICE grabbing them because of things they said or wrote. And one of the things he gets to is the masking of ICE agents, which is something that we've seen in New York City, here in Chicago and around. He says, this court has listened carefully to the reason given by Ozturk's captors for masking up. It rejects this testimony as disingenuous, squalid, and dishonorable. Mm-hmm. ICE goes mass for a single reason, to terrorize Americans into quiescence. It's a federal judge appointed.
No, they mask up because they're being doxxed. They're masked up because once after they're doxxed, people are going after them in their personal lives, their family, kids, all that wild stuff. So, they're staying masked up to protect themselves and their family members. And any Dem that doesn't understand that, you're being extremely dishonest. All the rhetoric towards ICE, you don't think that they're trying to dox these people? They want them to take off their masks. No, not for them to show their face so they can know who's doing this. No, they're doing it so they can dox them and try to make their life miserable in the back end. They're trying to use intimidation tactics to keep them from doing their job. They're thinking that, well, maybe if we scare enough of y'all, threaten y'all family members, y'all children, maybe even do some vandalism on your personal property, you'll back down. And that is, well, vandalism. I mean, slight terrorism. I mean, let's be honest here. And if that's what you're supporting, well, congratulations, you're a domestic terrorist.
By Reagan. In all our history, we've never tolerated an armed mass secret police. Carrying on in this fashion, ICE brings indelible obloquy to this administration and everyone who works in it.
ICE cannot dox American citizens because ICE can't. Bro, ICE is there to catch illegals. Y'all know that, right? And the only time ICE can really round up an American citizen is if they're obstructing an investigation. That's it. Like, I'm not sure what's wrong with you guys thinking that ICE is a mess arresting American citizens. That's a fear-mongering campaign that the Dems sell to you to make you think that they're doing, like, that they're going outside their job. And they're not. Like, I don't know why they're feeding you that lie. They're only radicalizing you to really go against ICE and be violent towards them because they're painting them as people who are trying to take your fellow Americans away when they're not. All right, but shout out to my man Hellbat. He says, I heard that they tried to put a halt in destruction on the border wall in that bill too, but IDK is just a rumor. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. A halt in destruction of the border wall, I would not be surprised. I mean, shoot, they was the one to shut the government down over it last time. Well, Trump shut the government down over it because Schumer and Pelosi wasn't for it. So I can see them coming back and be like, yeah, not only do we 1.5 trillion in spending, but we also want to take down that border wall, which I doubt. I don't think they asked for that either. But I know they asked for what was it? To refund PBS and what was it? Yeah, to refund PBS and that other, what was it? That other company that takes government, that used to take government funding. It was PBS and who? Jesus, I forgot. NPR. PBS and NPR.
Did it all bracing to read a Reagan-appointed federal district judge write something like that in finding that Ramesa Ozturk's and others' rights were violated?
Of course. I mean, once you have, as you said, for a Reagan-appointed judge to be out and out talking about secret police in the United States of America in the year 2025 tells us everything about what's going on. And we get to these extremes through these small erasures and steps when everyone says makes an exception here or makes an exception there. And then before you know it, you have masked agents roaming the streets of this country that do not feel entitled to identify themselves or do not feel like as though they answer to the American people at all.
I mean, when they go and arrest people at Home Depot and at these factories, yeah, they identify themselves as they walk in. They do not need to take off their mask and be like, hey, yeah, my name is Antonio Suarez. Yeah, I'm an ICE agent. I know, right? And an Hispanic name, but rock with me on this one. Yeah, but yeah, I'm an ICE agent. Here's my retina scan. Here's my thumbnail scan. I just want to make sure you see my face. You know, you feel me? No, they don't got to do that. Y'all are ridiculous. No. They let them know that ICE is coming. ICE goes in there masked up. They take the guys out and get them deported. There you go. That's it.
All. That is dangerous. And it is not with
No, it's not dangerous. It's following the law.
Without saying, it does not go without saying that the people that they went after first are some of the most vulnerable activists in the United States, which is to say pro-Palestinian organizers and young people, especially those who are on green cards or on visas. Yeah. And the idea that we would allow our freedom of speech to be violated and create exceptions to that for people.
And here's the thing, this is how crazy people are. If you're literally saying that, oh, why are you supporting this? You're next. I'm an American citizen. I'm not even on their radar. Like, y'all understand what ICE does, right? Or because maybe y'all forgot. Because they're immigration enforcement. Literally, they're immigration enforcement, immigration and custody enforcement. Now, I'm not sure where you guys got the Gestapo and that they're terrorists that just want to kidnap American citizens from. Oh, yes, the Dems. But yeah, that's not what they do. You know, I'm not going to be on their radar unless I'm an illegal immigrant. You're not on their radar unless you're in here illegally or your work visa expired, which is basically being here illegally. So come on now. Can we use some common sense?
Are advocating for the lives of Palestinians.
Is that so hard, bro? Is that so hard for you guys to do? Just use some common sense when it comes to ICE. How could I be arrested if I'm here? How could it come after me if I'm here, not illegally, but I'm a U.S. born citizen? So basically, I'm here legally. Do y'all understand how dumb y'all sound by saying, oh, you're next? Most people who make this argument is U.S. citizens. So when y'all say dumb stuff like you're next, y'all sound retarded. Like, actually, like special beat your chest with your hand, retarded. No offense.
At the very core of American identity, too. because this is a land of the free, but only as long as we defend it and make it so. And so we have a responsibility to ensure that that these individuals are protected, including Mahmoud Khalil, who the Trump administration is currently trying to move to deport.
Yes, in fact, trying very, very hard as we speak. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you very much.
I mean, man, I can't believe people actually think that. But hey, though, let's get into our man, Senator Rand Paul. As he talks about government shutdown, you know, Rand Paul being one of the grandstanding Republicans, it's pretty interesting to hear from this guy.
Senator, thank you for joining me now, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Senator, thank you for joining. I know what a busy, busy time it is, but we'd love to get your thoughts on a few key topics. The first one, obviously, government funding. I know you are planning not to vote for the continuing resolution that your party is putting forward because you've said it prolongs Biden-era spending levels. If that's the case, are you okay with the government shutting down tonight at midnight? The clock's ticking.
Well, you know, when we have to make a decision on...
All right, I'm sorry. I do have to make somebody look dumb in the chat. You're just like the farmers. Bro, did you forget the part where I said I'm a U.S. citizen? And if I'm just like the farmers, then, I mean, does that mean I got a whole bunch of illegals that I underpay working for me on my farm? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, y'all can't even make sense of that argument when you guys try to say, oh, you're next. Do you know who you're talking to when you make that statement? You know you're talking to a U.S.-born citizen, right?
Spending levels, we need to look at them in context.
I might want to check on
what
that
kind of deficit they will create. The Republican plan will create about $2 trillion in deficit spending. The Democrat plan will create about $3 trillion in deficit spending. I want less deficit. I'm kind of looking for a plan that would offer less spending and less deficit. So I introduced a budget last week called the Penny Plan budget, and it would gradually balance the budget over about 5 years by doing across-the-board restraint in spending. So that's what I'm for. But it's not whether you're for or against, and I think that's a false argument. So that would be like arguing the Democrats want to shut down the government. The reason people say that is they're so used to saying the Republicans want to shut down the government. It isn't really about anybody wanting to shut down the government. It's about people trying to vote for what they think is the appropriate level of spending.
Well, given that spending is a top priority for you, how do you feel about our president offering Argentina a $20 billion bailout? They're not even a key trading partner for us.
I'm not for foreign aid really to any country. If you had a surplus and the government were running a $500 billion surplus or $1 trillion surplus, you could come to me and say, well, these people are friendly. We'd like to loan them some money. Even then, I wouldn't give it. I would say it's got to be a loan. You got to pay it back. But in this case, we're $2 trillion in the hole. And I've been a fan of Milei. I think he's doing some good things in Argentina. But I'm not for giving away money we don't have.
Yeah, and Rand Paul, you also shouldn't be for that $1.5 trillion spending if we're $2 trillion in the hole yearly. So, I mean, let's be quite honest. Like, Rand Paul should also be making this statement, too. It's like, I don't know why y'all wanted 1.5 trillion when we're 2 trillion in the hole. Man, we're trying to cut spending, and you guys are asking for more spending. Do you like, and remember, you guys are the main ones complaining about the spending problem during the big, beautiful bill. And now you're trying to, well, honestly, increase the spending problem. Like, what's going on, Dems? Like I said, pick a side.
We have to first go to the bank, which is China or the Federal Reserve, borrow the money or print it up to send it to other countries.
And shout out to my man Jet. Only thing be next for S.E.T with ICE is buying beers. Yeah, only thing be next for S.E.T with ICE is buying beers. You know what? Yeah, if you're ICE, man, you're out here cracking down on people. Hey, man, drink on me. I get you a beer. Why not? Why not? I mean, actually, I've already seen the effects of ICE in Columbus. Trust me. I mean, they're out here closing down your favorite Mexican, your favorite Hispanic food trucks and some restaurants. And that's on them because they decided to hire mostly illegals. No, literally, like the owner is illegal. I mean, a legal citizen, but and I'm honest with you, I'm pretty sure you guys know a lot of companies like this as well. But owner, legal, employees, illegals. Trump cracked down, nobody pulls up to work. What happens? They got to shut down.
It's a terrible economic plan.
What's your thought about cutting jobs? The president has threatened kind of a mass firing of federal workers if this shutdown happens. Do you think the White House, the president, has the authority to do that?
The Supreme Court's been looking at this, and actually adjudicating more cases than we ever have on the separation of powers. There's been a lot of things that aren't completely known. What can the president do in this situation? Can they fire a certain person? Can they fire these employees? So far, almost all those cases have gone the president's direction. The biggest one was the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, where they wrote into the law that the president, they thought he might fire the head, and he did. And when it went on to the Supreme Court, they said that basically Congress cannot they cannot create agencies that live in perpetuity. They can't have funding in perpetuity, but they also can't have employment without some checks and balance. And the president is that check.
Well, let's talk about something else the president wants.
Something that the Dems don't like to hear. He's like, yeah, well, you know that part that checks and balances that, you know, these government employees got to go through? The president is one of them. So he is the check when in the checks and balances. Sadly for these government employees, sadly for the Dems, I know y'all want to cry about it, but yeah, he does have power to do what he wants with federal employees. It is what it is. Like, look, you can hear it from my man again.
Court, they said that basically Congress cannot they cannot create agencies that live in perpetuity. They can't have funding in perpetuity, but they also can't have employment without some checks and balance. And the president is that check.
Like it or not.
Well, let's talk about something else the president wants, a stake in big business. At a New York Economic Club event today, the president's top trade negotiator said that Trump would, quote, love a stake in every company that's doing well. What do you think about that? You are a free markets, true capitalism kind of guy. That doesn't sound like
I'm probably speaking like an investor. He is an investor, so it makes sense. Now, is he going to do it? No, because it'd be unethical, but he's just talking like any investor would.
Free markets, I know.
Yeah, if you're going to criticize Mandami for wanting to own the grocery stores, you have to be equal parts critic to any Republican who wants a share of NVIDIA, a share of Intel, or a share of U.S. Steel. It's a bad idea. It's a slippery slope. And really, it is heading in the direction of what socialism is, which would be owning all of them.
Remember, Trump is not buying these shares. He just talked about it. He said, well, I would like it. If he wasn't president, I'm pretty sure he would have done it. But since he's president, you can see it as a joke. I would hope they would take it as a joke because it was one. But for some reason, mainstream media, they can't tell the difference between a joke and an actual statement.
Means of production. If you only own a percentage of the means of production, it still is a step in the wrong direction.
Then what do you think about this new partnership that we just heard about today with Pfizer? It's going to be known as Trump RX. Our U.S. government is going to sell Pfizer drugs on a website named after Donald John Trump.
I did hear about that. We're about to sell Pfizer, and it's going to be like way cheaper than if you buy it at the store or whatever. So apparently we're going to be selling Pfizer drugs online for cheaper than what you can get. Well, I guess in store or whatever. Well, like I said, we're supposed to get most favored pricing, so that kind of goes along with Trump's plan on bringing down prescription drug costs. And him naming it after himself is just, well, that's just egotistical Donald Trump. It is what it is.
I haven't seen all the details so far, but what I will tell you is part of the news report said that it's driven Pfizer to a negotiated price, a lower negotiated price on Medicaid. I do think the government should negotiate with the full.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why we don't need to bloat our Medicaid spending, because honestly, it just makes these pharmaceutical companies get more. We low-key need to shrink it down so that we don't have so much to overspend on. And that's the problem. So here's the thing. Pfizer, like I said, are pretty much setting something up to where we're paying lower prescription. We're paying lower drug prices than we used to. So when AOC said, oh, your premiums are going to go up because we say so, and that was already tackled. Part of that was already tackled with Trump's EO. And yes, it's already coming to fruition. So I'm not really sure what that argument was about that AOC was parroting.
Leverage that they have in size for both Medicaid and Medicare. And I have voted that way as well. As far as bullying companies or taking a percentage of companies, I'm opposed to that. As far as bullying them to offer a certain price on a new website, doesn't sound like something I would be for, but I haven't seen the details. But if it's just trying to get a better price from Medicaid to pay for drugs, that is taxpayer money, and I think we should get the best deal we can get.
I mean, Australia does it. I mean, all these other countries that offer free healthcare do it because they negotiate and they just don't let the pharmaceutical companies run it up on us, make damn near all their money off us. So, yeah, let's try to copy our people over there in Australia who set out a budget, who sticks to that budget and won't go nowhere over, and will make that budget work for every goddamn member in their society that needs it.
All right, new topic. The indictment of former FBI.
Man, and I swear, Australia, this will be probably the few times I shout y'all out. So shout out Australia.
Director Jim Comey. The president fired a prosecutor that he appointed for refusing to bring this indictment. Are you concerned at all about this and potentially the way the Justice Department is getting used in this space?
I think the best way to judge whether or not we're having true justice is whether or not you have the same standard, whether you judge people or adjudicate things on the same standard, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. During the Biden administration, they basically yanked Roger Stone out of his bed, put him up on charges for lying to Congress and also obstructing justice. These are the same accusations for James Comey. So either it was incorrect to go after Roger Stone or it's incorrect to go after James Comey. But if it's okay to go after Roger Stone and you're applying the same standard to James Comey.
But, sir, I would say two things. They never had to fire any prosecutors to bring those charges against Roger Stone. And I believe at the time you took issue with what happened to Roger Stone. So do you take issue with what's happening to Jim Comey?
Yeah. I think you have to apply the same standard. So the same standard would be you wouldn't arrest Roger Stone. You probably wouldn't arrest James Comey. But what do you do when the standard has become, and the standard of lawfare and all of the people who basically bent the law into pretzels to go after Donald Trump? I don't like the idea that that we're going to go with the same standard. I think we should go back to a dispassionate standard that doesn't judge people based on their party. But for all those on the left who are suddenly vocal, my question to them is, where were you when Roger Stone was arrested?
Facts. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we kind of look at the Dems, or right now, I mean, we're looking at mainstream media on the left. Y'all hypocrites. Like when it was happening to people on YouTube, Facebook, all the meta platforms, y'all was getting y'all way there. When it was happening to Twitter and all right conservative voices was being throttled, pretty much getting censored. You're not getting that much engagement. What was y'all saying then? Y'all said nothing. When Roger Stone was getting prosecuted, y'all said nothing. But then when James Comey, I mean, he's not even one of y'all own. But when James Comey gets in trouble, when James Comey gets indicted, now y'all up in a roar. I mean, when Jimmy Kimmel gets taken off the air for, I mean, honestly, news distortion, now y'all want to complain? I mean, it was happening for 4 years and y'all sat there in silence.
Then my question is, who was fired in order to bring those charges up against Roger Stone?
They aren't exactly the same. They're the same charges. All the circumstances aren't the same, but there is a parallel. And the question is for people on the left, if you don't like the arrest of James Comey, if you don't like it, where were you when Roger Stone and all the others had lawfare being thrown at them? Where were you in the January 6th committee, which was all Democrats and two Republicans sympathetic to Democrats, was going in a partisan way after people they didn't like in the Trump administration. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be offended and morally offended by the James Comey action if you aren't morally.
James Comey, Steve Bannon. I mean, there was other guys that went after as well. So like I said, and you Dems were cheering that on. But now you're upset, like with Jimmy Kimmel, like I said, and James Comey is. Y'all have no right to be offended, to be quite honest with you. Y'all really don't, because y'all sat back for 4 years and let it happen, and y'all even praised it. Y'all clapped and cheered it on. And now that it's happening to people on your side, and here's the thing, Jimmy Kimmel's not even the best example. He actually kind of deserved his suspension. So it is what it is on that one. But James Comey, though, yeah, y'all shouldn't be saying anything about that, because y'all had nothing to say for 4 years when it was happening to people on our side. And here's the thing, James Comey is actually a Republican. Y'all only like him because he turned against Trump.
Offended by what happened before.
So really, y'all should just let us straighten out our own.
All right, then let's move on. Finally, the president told the nation's top generals that the military should use American cities as training grounds. He also spoke about spending $1 trillion on the military in 2026. I just want to get your thoughts on that real quick.
If you want to run a balanced budget, if you want to have a small, limited constitutional government, you can't have $1 trillion military budget. I've said for years that the real compromise is reducing military spending and reducing welfare spending. The guns and butter, the compromise has been in reverse for 30, 40 years now. Both goes up. The liberals don't have enough vote unless they get the militarists to vote with them. The militarists don't have enough money unless they vote to some welfare. So everything goes up. Military and welfare goes up. We need the reverse compromise.
You worried about our American cities being training grounds for the military, or you think that's okay?
I don't like the idea of having the military in our streets and in our cities. I also don't, like the sadness and despair that I've seen when I've visited some of the poorest precincts in Chicago. I went to not only the poorest, probably the most crime-ridden precinct in South Chicago, and just the despair there is overwhelming. And the Democrats who run that city don't seem to care. I mean, they've just left these people in horrific crime where the kids can't go to school, kids can't work, and the only outlet for them is joining a gang. And somebody's got to do better. And so Democrats that run these cities, I don't love the idea of the troops being there, but you got to do something to save your kids. I mean, it is just utter despair on the south side of Chicago.
And do you think the National Guard is the answer?
No, I think the answer would be you'd have mayors that would step up and have police on every corner. You would have a presence, a police not only just to be there as a physical intimidation to violence, but also to be there to be a member of the community. And we have some of the problem in the larger cities, even in Kentucky, but you got to do better. They've got to step up and do better. And almost all of our cities are run by Democrats. So eventually voters are going to have to say, really, what have Democrats done for my community? My son was shot. My son's friend was shot. My son's friend's friend was shot. You can't go to the Walgreens or the...
in these high crime areas. And here's the thing, like I said, when people are victims of high crimes, they usually do blame Democratic politicians. Why? Because if you look at all these high crime cities, they're ran by Dems. Even the high crime red states, if you microscope it and you really put that red state under a microscope and you look at all the high crime areas, they're blue cities. Those high crime areas are ran by Dems almost every single time. Every single time you look at high crime in a high crime city, it's a Dem running it every single time. And then if they got a Republican in there, they just now elected the Republican. Their last mayor was a Democrat. The mayor before that was a Democrat. And the mayor before that was a Democrat. Best example was Shreveport, Louisiana. Look up the history of mayors of Shreveport, Indiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Drugstore because they're in one for 15 miles. You can't get a job in a fast food restaurant as his first job, which can be a good stepping stone because there are no fast food restaurants. It is deserted, but we got to do better. We can't just keep saying, oh, everything's great. Let's just keep electing the same people in Chicago. Chicago is a disaster. So there are people that are in despair. And
you think I'm bullshitting you? You think I'm bullshitting you? All right, great. Give me your favorite city. Come on. Give me your favorite high crime city and we'll go ahead and I'll prove it to you. Ran by Dems. Please give me your favorite one. I got time.
Something better.
Sir, I hear you, but I guess I would just ask, you just mentioned there are cities in Kentucky, there are cities in Alabama. There's a lot of there's a lot of cities out there in red states that are also suffering similar levels to these other cities that you're saying that are run by Democrats.
The only cities, the only large cities in Kentucky struggling are actually run by Democrats. And this is true of most of the large.
Thank you. God damn it, man. Thank you. Most of these large cities that have high crime ran by Democrats. Most high crime cities in America ran by Democrats. Like, even Rand Paul knows what it is.
Red city, there's a lot of cities out there in red states that are also suffering similar levels to these other cities that you're saying that are.
No, they're suffering from being in a highly rural area or just being poor in a rural area. These high crime cities have a lot of money flowing through it and have a whole lot of crime. Chicago, Oakland, LA, Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, bro, we can go on for days. Like, let's be honest here. You guys run cities terribly. especially in the higher the population, the worse you run it.
They're run by Democrats.
The only cities, the only large cities in Kentucky struggling are actually run by Democrats.
Thank you.
This is true of most of the large
Yes.
cities.
And we can look this up. Go ahead, please. Look up all the most struggling cities in Kentucky. It's going to be mainly I'm sorry, but Democratic ran cities every single time. Like, all right, let's go to Shreveport. Like I said, Shreveport, Louisiana. Democrat. Look, Republicans in the 1800s, but Democrat. Oh, wait. So right now, this is who's mayor right now. Is a Republican. Who's that before that? Right. Oh, a black Democrat. What about then? This guy, first African-American female mayor of that city, a black Democrat. Before then, another black Democrat. Before then, most likely, oh no, this was just a Democrat. So you want to sit here and tell me that you guys can run a city? Like, let's be real. Things don't start falling in order until this guy comes around. Our man, Tom. And shout out to that guy, Tom, out there, man. Hopefully, God bless him. God bless him. Because think about it. Y'all had to go through these 1, 2, 3, 4 terrible mayors to finally switch up and become a Republican. And trust me, it got bad in Shreveport. It was getting outrageous. So, of course, they switched up because they got tired of it. Like most Americans are tired of it. Y'all just don't understand that part. But please, do you want to bring up another Democratic city that I love to expose? Like, go ahead. Give me a favorite one.
Cities in our country. So ultimately, people are going to have to reassess. Like, for example, I'm for school choice. Who are the schools failing? You know, the kids in rural Kentucky are doing okay in the public schools. It's kids in Louisville and in Lexington, in the poor areas of the city where they're struggling with very few intact families. And the scores are just 30% of the kids reading at grade level. And then the teachers union comes in, supported by the Democrats, and says, we don't want any school choice. And so, yeah, they don't get any school choice. They get the same crappy education they've been getting for decade after decade. I've also been to charter schools. I've been to Boys Latin School in Philadelphia. 100 young men, all African-American, many from broken families, in an area where 10% of the
Hold
kids—
on now. Somebody said Birmingham. I got you. Birmingham has high crime? They one of your high crime cities? Fantastic. This is your current mayor. Democrat. Democrat. Black Democrat at that. What? Wait, is this another Democrat? Let's see. Former congressman, served as counsel. Most like another Democrat. So, I mean, yeah, y'all had a history of Democrats. So if it's a high crime area and you got all these Democrats running it, I mean, y'all got first African-American mayor. I mean, y'all always have those in these Democratic ran cities. And then y'all run into shit. So it's damn near disgraceful. It's like, dog, if you're going to be the first African-American mayor, I really don't care. Can you be the best one? Can you be the best mayor and be black at the same damn time? Like that's also a pretty good achievement, by the way. But yeah, Democrats every single time. Every time, guys, every time. And if you want to sit here and try to pretend like these black guys are going to be Republicans, like, come on now, guys. Come on. Majority of black men are liberal. Like, I'm going to be real with you. I know I'm the oddball out, but I'm just going to be real.
kids graduate. 99 out of 100 kids at the Boys Latin School graduate, go on to college. These young men look you in the eye and you know they're going to be a success. There's potential in all of our kids, but we've just given up and we're warehousing them in these schools, and then it becomes polluted by union politics where everybody's like, oh, we can't have choice. We can't have charter schools. We can't have magnet schools. You've got to try something different. These kids are just being left behind.
All right, sir, we're out of time, but I did think of one thing when you were talking about Kentucky. I know last week you were traveling around the state with your friend and colleague, Thomas Massie. A very big priority for him is to get,
I ain't gonna lie, when they shave, they both look alike.
to the bottom of this entire Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Where do you think that's going to end up? Are the American people going to end up with more information?
I voted the same way as Thomas Massie. We had a vote over here, and I voted with, but mostly Democrats.
Oh, yeah. Somebody says Pennsylvania. Great. Let me take you to the most high crime city in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Right. So, Mayor of Pittsburgh, Democrat. And hold on, wait. Let's go back one more time. Democrat, independent / Democrat, whoever this Richard guy was. And wait, Democrat, I guess Fusion Democrat. I'm not sure what the hell that meant. Democrat. So, yeah, guys. Yeah. Mainly Democrats. It's kind of funny. So every high crime city always leads to a whole lot of Democrats. Black ones, sadly. The black ones. God damn it.
To expose the Epstein files. The way I look at it is there's distrust in our government at all levels, whether it's science, whether it's fiscal matters, but people also distrust the justice. And like I said previously, they want the same standard. So if you're a billionaire, you should live under the same judicial standard as a middle-class person. And that's what people are afraid of, is that people did really bad things. Epstein took the punishment. His girlfriend took the punishment, but a lot of other people may have gotten off scot-free. So I'm for the transparency on this, because if you want to restore trust, you have to be transparent, and you have to treat people the same, whether they're rich or poor.
Oh, shit. And all right now, and I know one person said Tulsa, so I got you. And actually, Tulsa actually has a bit of a mixed one. But who's it in right now by? A black Democrat. So thank you for proving my point, whoever said Tulsa, Oklahoma. Back in the day, we got a Republican. And then we got, of course, a Democrat. And then we had a very short ran Republican. And then we had a Democrat. I mean, mostly ran by, back in the day, we got quite the mix. Longest runs, though, were mainly by Democrats. Republicans had very short-lived runs, but except for this guy, he actually did pretty well. But as we go further into things, ran by a Democrat. So once again, my point's proven. But this one's actually not that bad, because they actually had 2 Republicans and then, of course, a Democrat. So they actually had a pretty even one up. But who's it ran by now? Once again, my point stands by this black man right here. Not the most, attractive guy. I don't know, but the face card not all the way there, but hopefully his leadership skills are. Wait, but if you're complaining about it being high crime, most likely not. It's a Democrat. So am I wrong, guys? Am I wrong? Of course not. Thank you. Thank you for playing that game with me. I truly enjoyed it. It's a very fun game we like to play here at S.E.T Media. Make sure to double tap that screen and subscribe. All right. But hold on. So do y'all want me to, anybody else want to be proven wrong about how Democrats just destroy these cities? Because like I said, all the high crime cities, go on and bring them up, guys. Most likely ran by a Democrat. Or look it up yourself. Look up the histories of these cities' leadership yourself. I'm doing this just straight off Google and Wikipedia. Y'all can do it too. Instead of just being wrong and just not believing me because what? I support Trump? Like, trust me, even if I wasn't supporting Trump, I'd be able to tell you this truth because it's right there in our face. All right, guys. Jacksonville. Oh, yeah. Ran by Democrats as well. Jacksonville, Florida, right? Or Jacksonville. Wait. No. That's, yeah. Yeah. Jacksonville, Florida. Yep. Democrats. I mean, well, we could do this all night, man. It's just going to be Democrats all the way through. Sadly. And I don't want it to be like that, but that's how it is. Before we get into this Ken and someone's window, I did wanting to take a nice little curve into conspiracy. Dark conspiracy, but a bit of a comedy interlude with Steven Crowder. This should be somewhat funny and enlightening. Here we go. Shout out to this guy.
People think that anarchists are not organized. Oh, of course, that's silly. Why would anarchists organize? But if you look today, right now, with thousands of activists, who are resisting proto-fascist groups, who do you think organized that?
So when people cite to you, there's more right-wing violence than left-wing violence. Remember, that's the guy behind the prosecution project. Think this guy created these stats. Portland sucks. Let's just establish that. Portland's a terrible place. It's an awful place that I also believe stole Austin's slogan. Can you guys let me know if you're from Portland? The Keep Portland Weird. Who did that first, Austin or Portland? And then who did it better?
I will say they're weirder.
Yeah, definitely weird.
Portland is weirder for sure.
Yeah. There's only so many penny farthing bicycles you can.
Everyone in Portland looks like a gay Nazi.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
There we go.
You look fantastic.
All right, let's get over to our guys over there at Jacksonville, Florida. So, Jacksonville, Florida, mainly Democrats. We're talking about within the last, let's see here, 40 years possibly. Yeah, we're talking about from 1968 to 2023, mainly Democrats. And I think this lady right now is a Democrat. So if you're complaining about Jacksonville, Florida, I mean, Democrat. Shout out Donna Deegan. You're a Democrat. So yeah, I mean, before then you had my man Lenny. You had this man Lenny Curry, and then once again, then you go back into the Democrat. Then you got two Republicans, and then Democrat/Republican. I guess they kind of counted as both, but then Democrat, and then I mean, after that, I ain't gonna lie, though, I didn't want to go back past 68 because after 68, it is nothing but Democrats, like whole complete Democrats. So once again, yeah, his Democrats every single time. God damn it. I mean, look, this is not me. I'm not trying to do this to y'all. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to show y'all the truth. But all right, now let's get back to the video. I'm sorry. It is fun doing this, though.
They're unicycling to work. It's a weird place.
Yeah. It's RuPaul's SS.
SF.
So it's terrible. It would be one of the most beautiful cities in the country, you know, at one point in time, and it would be an epicenter. I'm thinking of an English accent. Epicenter. It would be an epicenter of tourism if it hadn't been destroyed by radical leftists, or as we know them now, mainstream Democrats. But Portland is what it is, and it's sort of the breeding ground of a lot of the most radical Antifa people. So their tourism spots are a little different.
We're a place of dualities that are never polarities. Two sides of the same coin that keeps landing right on its head. Anything can happen here. This is Portland, but so is this. We like it this way. But so is this, and this, so is this, and this.
I'm weak.
Not that.
Is this Portland?
Yep.
And shout out to my man Jace. I'll play devil's advocate, and I'll play devil's advocate since they got 0 in Miami. Really? No, 0 Democratic mayors? Really? Miami? I wouldn't be surprised. Here's the thing. I mean, I was surprised that Jackson, Florida, honestly had a Democratic mayor. I was like, really? I mean, after the years, all these years. But hey, like I said, you're not really giving yourselves a good position here. Like when I show all these high crime cities and how their current mayor is a Democrat, except for Shreveport, Louisiana. But yeah, like I said, y'all current mayors are Democrats. What are we supposed to say? Like, you can sit here and say I'm being disingenuous just because you don't like what I'm showing, but the facts are the facts. Y'all are terrible. Dems are terrible at running cities, especially the ones with high populations. I mean, come on now. Do we really need to sit there and lay out examples? I think the best example in the world is Chicago. Like, after I say Chicago, I feel like every Dem should just shut the hell up at that point.
That's Portland. Her, that thing, and all it is. You get it. We're not perfect. We have some of the loudest voices on the West Coast. Sometimes passion pushes the volume all the way up. And this.
Maybe I do need to shut the hell up. Man, it ain't over till the fat black lady sings, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe that was too much.
This is Portland.
It ain't over till the fat EBT sings.
Oh, come on. I like in the original tourism ad that they used every black person that lives in Portland.
Yes, exactly.
They're a very pro-black city. They just don't want them in there.
I think Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, someone can fact check. I think it was a white-only state originally.
Really?
Yeah.
Sort of. So it wasn't explicitly white only, but like every rule they had said black people can't live here.
Oh, okay. So it was implied.
It was.
Yeah, the original motto is black people can live here, Oregon.
Yeah. Yes. So Antifa, right? This is really the basis. On Sunday, Trump, using the powers of Title X, sent National Guard troops in to Portland. And Antifa, finally, we've been harping on this since 2018 at least, Antifa has now been classified, or it's going to be. He's suggested it. It looks like it's obviously in the works. They're going to be classified as a terror organization, a terrorist organization. Isn't that a good thing at this point, right? Aren't we all on board with this? Now, here's the thing. You're going to hear a claim out there. Check all the references. They're available, links in the description. We do it every show. Claim you'll hear is that, well, there's no legal way to designate Antifa a terror group because it doesn't have central organization. It's domestic, not foreign, right? There's no actual classification for a domestic terror organization. Well, okay, here's the truth. Yeah, there's no domestic terrorism sort of classification, but there actually was no foreign terror organization classification before 1997. Right, the list was made in response to a problem where we said, well, we have to do something about these terrorist organizations. And we do have an official definition of domestic terror in this country. So it's just kind of combining two things, saying, all right, at one point we decided to codify into law that we could recognize international terrorist organizations. We have a definition of terrorism. Does Antifa meet the criteria? Also, they are a group.
Yeah.
They do have membership.
I mean, they have membership. They got a website. I mean, of course, they got membership. They have a sign up. I mean, they literally got a sign up, guys. Come on now. You can't just have a website with a sign up and a mission statement and say that they're not organized.
Just to be clear, they do have chapters. If you want to say they're not an official group, you could say that about any street gang. You could say it about the Bloods, the Crips. You could say it about all of these biker gangs. They don't actually have a written record.
The Hello Kitty fan club.
Right.
And they didn't have a 501c3.
No, that's exactly right. So it's a silly argument, but you will hear it from the left, even though they claim otherwise when they're behind closed doors. So we're going to get into this and kind of make the case for you. But first, download the Rumble app. Follow me there. That's the best way to stay in touch. YouTube said they were going to let people back on, but they immediately booted Alex Jones and said, no, we're not actually doing that yet. So you guys should be on Rumble. Here are a couple of key facts. Key fact number one, Antifa is absolutely an organized terror group. And I want you to remember this. This is very important, and it may come up in the following days. You've seen that chart out there. You've seen those numbers where the left is now saying, actually, there's more violence coming from the right wing. All right, it either comes from one of two places. Cato, which is only domestic terrorism deaths, or it comes from this article that was largely circulated by The Economist. Now, the basis for those crime stats is entirely the prosecution project. You'll see that written hyperlinked, TPP. Okay, go check the link. The person who's behind that is Professor Michael Lodenthal.
Oh, Michael Lodenthal. Yeah, and we're about to see this young man, but check this out, guys. All right, anti-fascist Europe. I mean, yeah, so they have Antifa for Europe. I mean, they have NYC, Antifa. I mean, you know, why not? Go ahead and join up. Join the resistance, guys. Join the resistance. Deportation, Islamophobia, abortion bans, climate change. Yes, join the resistance. It's right here on the website. I mean, they got images. I mean, they got content. Let's see here. I mean, let me check that out. Let me check them out a little bit. I mean, let's see here. Subject to journal. What? They got publishers, collections, images, all on this one page. I mean, that seems pretty organized to me. Let's see here. And this is a bit more sophisticated one. United for Intercultural Action is the Europe's network against nationalism, racist, fascism, and supports of migrants. I bet. Refugees and minorities. So it's like saying they're fat. Yeah, here it is. What is it? UnitedTifa.org. I mean, hilarious. So, I mean, that seems pretty organized to me, especially when you got the .org on your name. I mean, hey. You sure? You sure they're not? Like, come on, guys. Can y'all hear me out on this argument just a little bit? Just a little bit. Like, Max, for just a little bit of leeway here.
Who hyperlinked? TPP. Okay, go check the link. The person who's behind that is Professor Michael Lodenthal. Right? So the numbers that you're hearing, there's more right-wing violence than left-wing violence, is from this organization and this man, Professor Michael Lodenthal, who, by the way, was arrested alongside his Antifa brethren at the January 20th protest when Donald Trump became president. Yeah, there are 200-something arrests. Guess what's not listed as political violence?
What?
And here he is openly discussing that Antifa is an organized group and even their tactics.
You know, one thing that I think is really misunderstood is that people think that anarchists are not organized. Oh, of course, like that's silly. Why would anarchists organize? But like, if you look today, like right now, thousands of activists.
What? This is minstrel.
Who are resisting like proto-fascist groups. Like, who do you think organized that?
That's literally as we speak.
That's literally right now, right, as we're filming. I mean, and like myself and many other people, many of whom would identify as anarchists, have been surveilling those groups, those individuals who are.
I'm crying. Identified anarchists. Hey, yo, guess dude would be insulted.
Who are arriving to DC to quote unquote stop the steal. We've been surveilling them for weeks, months, and years. And some of them we've been surveilling for decades.
So when people cite to you, there's more right-wing violence than left-wing violence. Remember, that's the guy behind the prosecution project. Think this guy created these stats. And he committed some alleged crimes and didn't list those. Also didn't list shootings, fire bombings that were committed expressly in the name of Antifa.
Wow. It's like a guy getting divorced.
I mean, it ain't really violence due to Antifa. Vandalism, sure, but not violence. Well, vandalism and violence kind of could be seen as the same thing, depending on how you do it.
As the reasons he leaves
violent vandalizing
out his affairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
I don't think it exists, but it sounds right.
It really does matter in this case because people can have biases. That's true. And they can still do good work. This man has incredible biases, and he does not do good work. It is propaganda. I just want to be very, very clear about that. It's either Cato or the prosecution project. Those are the two only sources that reflect it. And we'll go through all the other examples that are not included as well. Key fact number 2.
Nah, there's others as well. I think it was Link. It was either Link or Parabolic that sent me a link to a website that pretty much broke it down. But the thing is, this website only broke down like what? It was like out of 1,100 deaths, how much of them were political, and then it didn't even describe, how are these political? Like, what made you come up with that choice that it was a political murder and it was on right wing? Yeah, it didn't really explain anything. It just gave you a number of this. It gave you the sample size number and the results, without really explaining how they got to those results and what they consider right wing or left wing murders.
On Antifa being a domestic terrorist organization, they do recruit both nationally and internationally. Let me read you this. So nationally, Portland's Rose City Antifa said that they are, quote, a group closed to members only.
Well, crap.
How much more official do you get than that?
They don't have jackets.
It's not a group, but I need to be membership of what? Nothing.
But it's closed.
Yeah, and it's closed.
So
you can only get in if you go through a process to become a member of this organization known as Antifa. But we're not an organization and we don't have membership.
Clear?
They also wrote, if someone in block tells you they're, quote, from Rose City.
I mean, let's be honest. Actually, hold on. Where are you at? Rose City Antifa right here. Rose City Antifa. Enough's enough. And I ain't gonna lie, they got a pretty smooth website. It's not like it's all janky and all that good stuff. I mean, it's a professionally done website. Founded in Portland, October 2007. Let's see here. C was formed after a coalition of local people and organizations formed the ad hoc coalition against racism, fascism, in order to shut down a neo-Nazi skinhead festival called Hammer Fest. Ah, okay. So you're just getting in the way of skinheads having their fun. Okay, well, I ain't really too mad at that, I guess. I don't know. If you got violent against them, I mean, they got, questions and all that good stuff. Let's see here. They got their about, they got the home. What about articles? Which I got going on the articles? Like, which I'll be writing about. They got articles? See, Proud Boys and their fans gather in Clackman on February 16th. Members of the violent far-right street gang of the Proud Boys. Okay, so they got their own propaganda that they spiel as well on articles that they can circulate. Oh, smart. I mean, they're not in Norway. Hold the fuck on. They're writing articles? They got articles, bro. But they're not organized. Okay, guys? That's what we're supposed to believe.
Antifa, but doesn't offer you a way to confirm it, either by emailing us or referring you to somebody who can reliably verify our identity, then it's safe to assume you didn't just meet somebody from Rose City Antifa.
Okay.
So they have membership, right? Attendance is closed to anyone who is not an official member, and they have a verification process to confirm the identity of the member. It's like a country club for assholes.
That's more verification than the TSA does.
Yes, exactly right. And our undercover team, by the way, was able to infiltrate their ranks. We did it in Utah a long time ago at that Ben Shapiro event. We did it again and even learned this time their secret handshake. Yes, and many of their meetings take place in public stalls.
Oh, that's the glory hole gang. That's a different, different gang.
Lots of AIDS.
It's the Van Buren boys. All right. Recruiting internationally. So Antifa International on Tumblr. Yes, Antifa International, but it's not a group. No. It's not an organization.
No.
They separate geographically. They separate by chapters, by rank. They have membership. They confirm membership, but they're not a group. This is just a post that comes from Antifa International on Tumblr. In a lot of ways, and I know people say Antifa, but I've always said Antifa. Antifa are more organized than ever before, and we're seeing cross-border collaboration with projects like this Tumblr, the International Anti-Fascist Defense Fund, the International Day of Solidarity with Anti-Fascist Prisoners, etc. So they claim they are more...
Hey, shout out to Jet. He says that's the only time they finger anything. I'm sorry, I just wasn't ready to read that one, bro. That was too funny. like one off. And he said, I Rumble rant. Let me see here. They said I missed the Rumble rant. Let me make sure I didn't miss it. Maybe it ain't update for me. Let's see here. Let's see if it pulls up. Not right now. Here it is. Shout out to my man Maine. He says, if Antifa isn't an organized group, how do they get the big dollar lawyers? I mean, that's actually a really good point. How do they get those big dollar lawyers if they're, not an organization and they're not being backed by anybody? Actually,
or
I wonder if I look close enough at that Rose City website if I can find donor information.
Organized than ever. They're recruiting. They have membership. And if Donald Trump says that this needs to be recognized as a domestic terror organization, the left quibbles with it's not actually an organization. You could say the same really about Freemasons, about the Elk Lodge, about the Rotary Club. If this is not an organization with membership, then none exist. You guys understand that, right? Another key fact. Number 3. Antifa organizes with lawyers to help members who are arrested. So they actually do have funding. Some people out there have done some great work in tracking it. And they have lawyers, I would believe, on retainer. So Andy, no. By the way, a gay guy who looks very normal, you'll see in this clip. Like our gays look normal. Their gays look like they just crawled out of a sewer.
Yeah, ours are just like, they just look like a dude.
They just look like someone who goes home and kisses guys.
Yeah, he's just a dude who likes dudes.
Like, okay, whatever.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to say that.
It's like the ultimate bro.
Yeah. So Andy,
what? Yeah, you know how you're always sitting around with your bros and you're like, man, I wish somebody would touch me.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. It's not you, bro. Not you, bro. You're like, no, it's okay. I'm the ultimate bro.
I forgot that Gerald is the perfect stoic who doesn't need human touch.
I know.
So Andy highlighted the lawyer issue there, how they show up to riots to help them escape prosecution. And they've been very effective with this. This is what he wrote. He wrote, if you see people in these green hats at far left riots, know that they are not independent legal observers, but are members of an Antifa legal group called the National Lawyers Guild. The group helps Antifa and far left terrorists escape prosecution. And this is a guy who got mercilessly beaten by multiple members of Antifa, by the way. And I know that many escaped without charges, probably.
All right, guys. And I do got to head over into Conspiracy Hour. We're still watching the Tucker Carlson 9/11 documentary. And I think we're on the last episode. We're on episode 5 out of 5. I believe so, right? 5 out of 5. Yep. 5 out of 5. So, yeah, we're about to go ahead and watch the last part of it on Rumble. In the meantime, I will leave your brains kind of, scrambled with this little conspiracy theory that, it pissed off Monty, but I ain't gonna lie, though. It's pretty damn entertaining to think about. Is it not? All right, let's get into it. And then we're going to go ahead and switch over to Rumble to watch the rest of the Tucker Carlson 9/11 documentary. So if you want to go ahead and watch that with us, go ahead and get over onto Rumble. I am S.E.T Media also on Rumble as well. So yes, you can just go to S.E.T Media Rumble, and you can go ahead and catch it there too. I will also go ahead and put it in the chat if y'all want to, or if you want me to. So let's go ahead and enjoy this little video real quick while I get that set up for y'all.
Tyler Robinson didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Israeli security detail killed Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk's assassin is caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic.
And I went ahead and posted the Rumble link in the post tab. Same place where you find the call-in link. But let's go back on that.
Caught on tape. Blake Bednar has brought us this video. We'll break it down. Take a look at this. Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers. Now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing. Remember the palm gun guy in the brown shirt, that shadowy looking guy with the sunglasses? Yeah, he pushes the detonator. Clear as day.
Counting gang violence. Great.
That's the assassin. That's the guy that pushes the detonator, which perfectly aligns with the explosion that pushes that projectile through Charlie's right side of his neck and out the left side, creating the exit wound. That might just look like the chaos that you would expect after someone was publicly executed in broad daylight in front of 3,000 people. But in no way did that trigger man, that assassin in the brown shirt with the sunglasses, act alone. We have video now from Destiny that shows the handoff of this remote detonator.
Different Destiny.
We had John Cullen on the program last week, and he made a great point about ballistic acoustics being altered to hide the location of the real shooter. Well, the same can be said to distract from the fact that there was no shooter. Tyler Robinson did not kill Charlie Kirk. This guy, brown shirt guy, he's the assassin.
Oh, way. If you want security, the Israelis know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Bro, I swear to God, bro, Stu Peters is right. That'd be the craziest thing ever. I highly doubt it, but if he was, that'd be the craziest thing. But all right, YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down on here. We're going to continue the party on Rumble. Head on over to Rumble. I went ahead and posted it in the YouTube chat, and I went ahead and posted it in the post tab on the main page. Make sure you subscribe and while you're at it. Appreciate the support, guys. We're heading out on YouTube. Peace out, YouTube. Make sure to head over to Rumble if you want to keep watching.